Chapter 15:12. Dragon Devourer Beast in the Holy Dragon War Territory. Let's look for the genius token first. Yang Hongwu felt that these genius tokens seemed to contain a secret. If they collected all the genius tokens, there would be a wonderful change. Of course, this was only Yang Hongwu's guess. Now, for Yang Hongwu, collecting the genius tokens in the Holy Dragon War Territory was not difficult at all. The two of them began to search for the genius tokens. In a short while, they had searched for more than 1,000 genius tokens. However, what surprised Yang Hongwu and Lu Li was that they did not encounter a single person. This was a little strange. "Brother, something seems wrong. We haven't seen anyone for so long," Lu Li said. Yang Hongwu also nodded. Something was indeed wrong. Logically speaking, he and Lu Li had already left the central area. The strange beast here could not be too strong. However, there were indeed genius tokens. There were hundreds of people who had entered the Holy Dragon War Territory, but they had not seen a single person after so long. Something was wrong. Something was definitely wrong. Could it be that a treasure has appeared and they're all fighting for it? Lu Li said, "That's possible." Yang Hongwu nodded. This was not impossible. If a treasure had appeared, and it was a powerful and precious treasure, everyone would fight for it. The possibility was very high. There's a smell of blood. After searching around, they still did not see anyone. However, they smelled blood. Under normal circumstances, in the Holy Dragon War Territory, there would be battles and the smell of blood. This was very normal. However, the smell of blood this time was very strong. The battles seemed to be very fierce. "It's nearby. Let's go take a look." Yang Hongwu and Lu Li looked at each other and rushed towards the place where the smell of blood was the strongest. After a dozen breaths, Yang Hongwu and Lu Li both widened their eyes. Several people were facing off against a giant beast. There were still pieces of meat on the giant beast's teeth. Not far away, there was a body part. It was obviously the body of the martial artist who had entered the Holy Dragon War Territory. "That's a dragon devourer beast." Lu Li was shocked when he saw the giant beast in front of him. A peak god monarch stage dragon devouring beast. "We're in trouble. Big brother, let's leave this place quickly." "Help, help." Just as Yang Hongwu and Lu Li were about to leave, they saw someone rushing towards them. The dragon devouring beast immediately turned around and chased after them. "Senior brother Hongwu, save me." That person was none other than Xianyi. When Yang Hongwu saw this, he was extremely angry. How did this guy discover him? Yang Hongwu thought that he and Lu Li had concealed themselves very well. However, this guy actually discovered him and Lu Li and chased after them. This guy's strength had actually broken through and was much stronger than before. "Xianyi, you damn bastard. You actually lured the dragon-devouring beast here." Lu Li was trembling with anger. This was intentional. This bastard actually lured the dragon-devouring beast here. The dragon-devouring beast's strength was extremely terrifying. It was a peak god monarch stage dragon-devouring beast. It had a great suppressive effect on dragons. Therefore, even a half-step divine emperor dragon would not be able to face this dragon-devouring beast head-on. "Senior brother Hongwu, you're the strongest here. Only you can deal with the dragon-devouring beast. You have to save us." Xianyi crazily sped up and ran towards Yang Hongwu, shouting loudly. The others heaved a sigh of relief. The dragon-devouring beast seemed to have set its eyes on Xianyi and chased after him. Although Xianyi was faster than the others, the dragon-devouring beast did not seem to notice them. Yang Hongwu pulled Lu Li up and disappeared in a flash. Xianyi saw this and cried in his heart, "Senior brother Hongwu, save me. Save me. We're all from Shug City. Save me. I can't hold on any longer." When Xianyi saw Yang Hongwu and Lu Li, he saw a glimmer of hope. However, he did not expect that Yang Hongwu would disappear in a flash. Teleportation. He actually knew how to teleport. He knew how strong Yang Hongwu was. He was the strongest here. Moreover, his cultivation had also improved tremendously. However, this damned dragon-devouring beast kept chasing after him, making him extremely depressed. If it was an early divine monarch stage dragon-devouring beast, he was confident that he could deal with it. However, it was a peak divine monarch stage dragon-devouring beast. Not good. Yang Hongwu had just appeared when he discovered a problem. There was a spatial crack. There was a terrifying aura in the spatial crack. This terrifying aura instantly locked onto him. Boom! Before he could react, the spatial crack exploded and a terrifying giant beast appeared. There was a person standing on the back of the giant beast. Yang Hongwu's face turned pale when he saw that person. Yang Hongwu did not know this person, but Yang Hongwu could clearly feel the killing intent that burst out from him. The opponent's strength was also very terrifying. He was a pseudo-divine emperor. Anomaly, Luli said. Dragons? An anomaly? Yang Hongwu looked at the opponent. This guy's killing intent seemed to be directed at him. Yang Hongwu was surprised. You kill Blair? The man looked at Yang Hongwu and asked, Who are you? Yang Hongwu looked at the man and asked, I'm Bu Kuan, Blair's uncle. You want to avenge him? Yang Hongwu looked at Bu Kuan and said, I didn't expect the uncle of the peerless genius of Boar City to be an anomaly. Today, I will kill you and avenge Blair. As he spoke, the huge body of the beast beneath Bu Kuan rapidly shifted towards Yang Hongwu. The giant foot stomped towards Yang Hongwu and Lu Li, trying to stomp them into meat patties. The stomp was not fast, but Yang Hongwu felt a powerful force binding him and Lu Li, preventing them from moving quickly. Yang Hongwu hugged Lu Li and activated the void travel technique, instantly dodging the attack. When Yang Hongwu reappeared, he was already more than 10 zhang away. Seal Talisman. Not far away, a talisman appeared in Xianye's hand and sealed the dragon-devouring beast in front of him. Senior Brother Hongwu catch. Xianye threw something at Yang Hongwu. This is a seal talisman. It can seal the dragon-devouring beast. Yang Hongwu looked at it and did not believe that Xianye would be so kind. Besides, why did this guy only use the seal talisman when he appeared? When the seal talisman appeared 3 zhang away from Yang Hongwu, it emitted a strong light and sealed the place where Yang Hongwu was. Chapter 15:13. Xianye was dead. Beast, Xianye, you're a beast. Lu Li scolded. Aha, Hongwu, Lu Li, you forced me to do this. Xianye's aura changed. He no longer had the bloodline of dragons. He became an anomaly. Yang Hongwu was shocked. He did not expect Xianye to become an anomaly. However, Yang Hongwu looked at Bu Kuan. Yang Hongwu suspected that Xianye became an anomaly because of Bu Kuan. This guy was very strange. Of course, he was also very strong. Do you think you can trap me like this? Yang Hongwu sneered. Open. Yang Hongwu shouted. A battle blade appeared in his hand and tore the seal apart. He then brought Lu Li a few feet away. Yang Hongwu had to admit that he was very afraid of Bu Kuan and the dragon-devouring beast. After all, the dragon-devouring beast was very strong. Although it was not a threat to Yang Hongwu, it was a great threat to Lu Li. Yang Hongwu was most afraid of Bu Kuan. This guy's strength was quite ferocious. He was a fake divine emperor. Even though Yang Hongwu had obtained the Dragon Transformation Pagoda and the art of dragon transformation, he was not confident that he could defeat him. After all, he did not set up a formation in advance. Lu Li, I'll send you into the Dragon Gate space first. Yang Hongwu avoided Xianye's attack and said to Lu Li, No, brother. My cultivation is now in the Divine Emperor realm. I can help you. Lu Li said, Lu Li, you have to be obedient. Although your strength is not bad now, you're still not strong enough to face the dragon-devouring beast. This dragon-devouring beast is at the peak of the Divine Emperor realm. Bu Kuan is also watching. I don't want anything to happen to you. Yang Hongwu said, Brother, be obedient. Otherwise, don't acknowledge me as your brother, Yang Hongwu said. Hearing Yang Hongwu's words, Lu Li's eyes reddened. He knew that Yang Hongwu was doing this for his own good. The dragon-devouring beast was too scary. Unless one was strong enough, they wouldn't be a match for it. In the end, Lu Li nodded. Even though Lu Li's strength had improved a lot, she had not fully grasped all of her powers. It was still not enough to deal with the dragon-devouring beast. After sending Lu Li into the Dragon Gate, Yang Hongwu looked at Bu Kuan and others. He actually sent Lu Li away. What a pity, what a pity. She is such a beautiful woman. Xianyi sighed and said, Master, he killed Blair, but his cultivation did not break through. He should have a dragon pearl. As long as we kill him, we can obtain an emperor-level dragon pearl. At that time, once you refine it, you will become a true divine emperor. You will defeat the dragon emperor and kill Nai. You will become the sole ruler of this universe. Well said. Now, go and capture him, Bukuin said to Xianyi. Xianyi's expression changed. Master, I what? Do you want to refuse my order? Bukuin's eyes flashed with a cold light as he said coldly, No, I dare not. Master, but I'm not his match. Although Xianyi's cultivation had improved, he was still afraid of Yang Hongwu. He knew that Yang Hongwu dared to go to the central region. The Komodo dragon, there was a half-step divine emperor. Since he dared to go there, he must be strong enough to deal with the Komodo dragon. Trash, you're a divine monarch. How can you be afraid of a great emperor? Bukuin said coldly. In fact, Bukuin was not a fool. Blair's death was related to Yang Hongwu, but it was also related to Xianyi. For me, a worthless trash has no meaning to exist. Master, I will definitely kill him. Xianyi's body trembled after hearing Bukuin's words. If he didn't attack, he would die. He was very clear about Bukuin's strength. Bukuin could turn him into a variant and increase his strength greatly. However, Bukuin could also easily kill him. He had seen with his own eyes how Bukuin killed a half-step divine emperor with just one slash. If he fought Hongwu, he still had a chance, but if he fought Bukuin, he would be dead. Xianyi held his saber and walked towards Yang Hongwu step by step. Hongwu, today you will die. Kill yourself. Ah, what a big tone. Yang Hongwu could not help but laugh. Xianyi was really funny. He was scared to death a moment ago, but now he was so arrogant. You dare to laugh at me? You're courting death. I will kill you. Xianyi was also enraged. Yang Hongwu's mockery had ignited the fury in his heart. His entire body seemed to have turned into a bolt of lightning as he charged towards Yang Hongwu. His speed was so fast that even Yang Hongwu was surprised. His aura also increased. Could it be that this guy had awakened the rage bloodline? Some special warriors could stimulate the special bloodline in their body due to the change in their emotions, increasing their battle prowess. Xianyi was provoked by Yang Hongwu. His aura increased by more than 2 times. Yang Hongwu smiled bitterly. He had lifted a rock and smashed his own foot. However, even though his battle prowess had doubled, Yang Hongwu still did not put him in his eyes. Immortal Cloud Strike. Yang Hongwu shouted and pointed his finger. A cloud condensed in the sky, and a ray of light shot out from the cloud. The attack shattered the space and hit Xianyi's body in the blink of an eye. Ah! Xianyi screamed, and his body was sent flying. There was a bloody hole in his chest, and his heart was crushed. Save me, Master, save me. Xianyi looked at Bukuin and shouted, Trash! Bukuin looked at Xianyi and threw a punch. Xianyi's body was instantly crushed into powder and disappeared in the void. Boy, I have to admit that you're a genius. You can easily kill Xianyi with your great Emperor Realm cultivation base. It's not impossible for Blair to die in your hands. However, no matter how strong you are, no matter how outstanding your talent is, you're still a great Emperor Realm expert. If you're a half-step Divine Emperor, I won't be your opponent. However, you have not grown up yet. Today, you have nowhere to run, you're going to die. As he spoke, Bukuin moved. His figure was like a bolt of lightning. A ball of light was released from his hand and turned into a large net. It enveloped an area of 300 meters around him. With a flash of light, the space around him was sealed. Chapter 15:14. Dragon's Heavenly Might. So what if you've sealed the space? You don't have the ability to kill me. You're just a fake Divine Emperor. Do you think I'm afraid of you? Yang Hongwu roared and raised a pagoda with both hands. This pagoda was none other than the Dragonized Pagoda. After obtaining the Dragonized Pagoda, Yang Hongwu had successfully refined it. With the help of the Dragon Gate, the power of the Dragonized Pagoda was extremely shocking. Although Bukuin and the others had become outliers and their bloodline pressure was weakened, it was precisely because of this that they suffered more damage when facing the supreme treasure of the dragons. For the dragons, The supreme treasure of the dragons greatly suppressed them, but its damage was greatly reduced. However, it was different for the outliers. The outliers were the enemies of the dragons. It could be said that they were the natural enemies of the dragons. The Dragon Transformation Pagoda did not suppress them, but its damage was greatly increased. Dragon Transformation Pagoda, suppress. Yang Hongwu raised the Dragon Transformation Pagoda and smashed it towards Bu Kuan. Bang! With a muffled sound, Bu Kuan's powerful strength bombarded the Dragon Transformation Pagoda. The Dragon Transformation Pagoda was sent flying, and Yang Hongwu was also seriously injured. After all, Bu Kuan was a fake divine emperor expert. His strength was incomparable to Xianye's. He was much stronger than Xianye. They were not on the same level at all. Yang Hongwu wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. After all, the Dragon Transformation Pagoda was the supreme treasure of the dragons. With the help of the Dragon Gate, it managed to block Bu Kuan's attack. The Dragon Transformation Pagoda even devoured Bu Kuan's strength to restore itself. After figuring this out, Yang Hongwu was pleasantly surprised. However, if this continued, the Dragon Transformation Pagoda would not be a problem, but he would not be able to withstand it. Unexpectedly, you managed to block my attack. Seeing Yang Hongwu block his attack, Bu Kuan was astonished. You've really impressed me. If you hadn't killed Blair, I would have accepted you as my disciple. He was a peerless genius. Once he grew up, he would definitely break through the shackles and become a godly emperor. It would be a great honor to have such a disciple. However, he had killed Blair, so he had to die. However, you still killed Blair. You must die. The gaze in Bu Kuan's eyes seemed to have turned into a sharp blade. A powerful light appeared in his hand, and a majestic magical power condensed and turned into a giant beast. It was the dragon-devouring giant beast. This giant beast bared its fangs and brandished its claws, looking extremely ferocious. It emitted a boundless ferocious aura as it rushed towards Yang Hongwu. Unstoppable. Run. When Yang Hongwu saw this terrifying attack, he was shocked. If he was hit by this attack, he would definitely be seriously injured, even if he didn't die. The void travel technique was activated. After the space was sealed, the reason why Yang Hongwu was not nervous was because he had a secret technique to travel through the void. It was a supreme secret technique derived from the Nine Heavens Divine Dragon technique. It was extremely powerful. Of course, if Yang Hongwu's cultivation had not reached the half-step true God realm, Yang Hongwu would not dare to try to enter the space sealed by Bu Kuan, who had surpassed the half-step divine emperor realm. However, after breaking through to the half-step true God realm, there was nothing to worry about. Boom! Bu Kuan's powerful attack instantly bombarded Yang Hongwu's original position. Seeing Yang Hongwu's figure being smashed and turned into nothingness, Bu Kuan's lips curled into a smile. A peerless genius, a peerless genius. You're nothing if you don't grow up. If you're given enough time, you can definitely grow up to be a peerless expert like the Dragon Emperor and Na Yi. However, you shouldn't have offended me. 9 Dragons Demon Slayer Formation, rise. Just when Bu Kuan thought that Yang Hongwu had been killed, Yang Hongwu's voice resounded from outside. In the sky, 9 giant dragons broke through the horizon. A huge formation instantly enveloped an area of 1,000 feet. What? He's not dead? Bu Kuan's face fell as he felt a terrifying aura. It was the aura of supreme destruction, the heavenly might of the dragons. Bu Kuan was originally a dragon. Later on, he became an anomaly. He had some understanding of the heavenly might of the dragons. The heavenly might of the dragons was the supreme power of dragons. It was the most powerful attack of the dragons against their enemies. It required the most precious treasure of the dragons to erupt with such terrifying power. Impossible. You're just a great emperor. How can you erupt with such power? Bu Kuan knew that this was the power of the formation. However, even if it was the power of the formation, it was extremely difficult to erupt with the heavenly might of the dragons. It was almost impossible. Haha, Bu Kuan, today is the day you die. Yang Hongwu activated the array. This 9 dragons devil-slaying array was set up by Yang Hongwu using the Dragonization Pagoda and Dragon Gate, as well as the Grand Mist Saber as the core of the array. In addition to Yang Hongwu's powerful Dragon Clan bloodline and 9 dragons Saint Physique, he was able to unleash the power of this array to its peak. If it was anyone else, they would not be able to unleash the full power of this formation. It could be said that this formation was the most suitable formation for Yang Hongwu. Impossible. This is impossible. It's fake. It must be fake. A mere great emperor without the most precious treasure of the dragons. How can a mere great emperor unleash the heavenly might of the dragons? Bukuin stared at Yang Hongwu. Illusory formation. It's just an illusory formation. You want to confuse me? You must be dreaming. Break! Bukuin roared. He clenched his fists and condensed a powerful aura. Surging spiritual power burst out and formed a terrifying giant beast. He punched out with both fists. The destructive power came with an earth-shattering force. It was as if it was going to break open the heavens and earth. Boom! Boom! Good. Let me show you the power of the 9 dragons devil-slaying formation. Yang Hongwu chuckled. He waved his hand, and the Dragon Transformation Pagoda and the Dragon Gate appeared. A supreme saber appeared in the void. Slash! As Yang Hongwu's voice fell, the saber turned into a 9 heavens divine dragon and rushed over. Bang! The two forces collided. The space was annihilated, forming a broken space. Time seemed to be frozen. It was as if everything was going to be destroyed by this terrifying force. The power of a divine emperor was so terrifying that it could destroy everything. Puff! Bukuin was sent flying. He was hit by this powerful force. The armor on his body was shattered. Blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. Bukuin was seriously injured. Yang Hongwu was not in a good condition. Dragon Transformation Pagoda and Dragon Gate. You actually have the 2 supreme treasures of the dragons. How is this possible? Bukuin stared at Yang Hongwu. He could not believe that Yang Hongwu had obtained the 2 supreme treasures of the dragons. Chapter 15:15. Overbearing suppression because of the loss of the Dragon Gate and the Dragon Transformation Pagoda. The Divergent appeared among the dragons. Even Nai, a Divergent expert, appeared among the dragons. Otherwise, the dragons wouldn't have been suppressed by the divine race. Once I kill you, the Dragon Transformation Pagoda and the Dragon Gate will be mine. Bukuin's eyes lit up as he looked at the Dragon Gate and the Dragon Transformation Pagoda in Yang Hongwu's hands with greed. Where did this little bastard come from? He actually managed to obtain 2 supreme treasures, the Dragon Transformation Pagoda and the Dragon Gate. Moreover, the battle saber in his hand seemed to be something extraordinary. It could even be compared to the Dragon Transformation Pagoda and the Dragon Gate. You want to kill me and seize my Dragon Transformation Pagoda and the Dragon Gate? Yang Hongwu couldn't help but laugh. You must be dreaming. Today, you can't even save your own life. How dare you dream of seizing my treasures? You're too naive. Yang Hongwu snorted. With a thought, the power of the entire formation poured into his body. 9 dragons' sacred body open. Yang Hongwu activated the 9 dragons' sacred body. His battle-intense soared, and his cultivation level increased crazily. The 9 dragons' sacred body erupted, and the power of the formation poured into Yang Hongwu's body. It could be said that at this moment, Yang Hongwu's strength in the formation was extremely terrifying. His cultivation level had reached the peak of the Divine Monarch realm. Although he had not reached the half-step Divine Emperor realm, Yang Hongwu's aura and fighting strength were far stronger than a half-step Divine Emperor. He was much more terrifying. Secret technique to increase your cultivation level. Bukuin narrowed his eyes and sneered. Forcefully increasing your cultivation level, you won't last long. Moreover, even if you reach the peak of the Divine Monarch realm, you're still far from being my opponent. I'll let you know that there's no way to make up for the gap between a Divine Emperor and a Divine Monarch realm. After saying that, Bukuin made a grabbing motion with his right hand, and a weapon appeared in his hand. It was a divine claw that was filled with the power of laws that could tear apart the heavens and earth. Brat, It's your fortune to be able to die under my heaven-tearing divine claw." As he spoke, the divine claw in Bukuin's hand seemed to have turned into a terrifying ancient beast that could tear the world apart. It clawed at Yang Hanwu. Even the void was ripped apart. That destructive power of the laws was even more horrifying. It seemed as though no one could withstand this grab. Yang Hanwu was shocked when he saw that. That sharp claw was indeed terrifying. He was indeed a fake divine emperor expert. His strength was quite ferocious. "Destroy the heavenly palace. Come out." Yang Hongwu took out another supreme treasure. This time, it was the destruction heavenly palace. Its defensive capabilities were shocking. Seeing Yang Hongwu's treasures appearing one after another, Bukuin was envious and jealous. Another supreme treasure, another one. He only had one heaven-tearing divine claw. But this brat not only had two supreme treasures of the dragons, he also had other treasures. A heavenly palace with unparalleled defense, and a Hongmeng saber with powerful attack. Together, their power was terrifying. Plus, he had a supreme battle body. If he was allowed to grow, no one would be a match for him. Kill him. I must kill him and seize his treasures. At that time, I will become the strongest person in the dragon world. I will be the ruler of the dragon world. No, even the god world and the devil world would be no match for him. When the time came, the entire plane, the entire universe would be his. Thinking of this, Bukuin's heart was burning. His attack became sharper. Bang! The heaven-tearing divine claw hit the destruction heavenly palace, but did not break through its defense. This made Bukuin greedy. This little bastard had too many treasures in his hands. If it wasn't for the fact that his cultivation base wasn't high enough, and he couldn't unleash the power of these treasures, he would have died in the little bastard's hands long ago. Devouring Furnace. Yang Hongwu roared, and the devouring furnace appeared. Although the heaven-tearing divine claw's attack was powerful, it was blocked by the destruction heavenly palace. The devouring furnace devoured the power of the other laws. In Yang soul lock spell. Yang Hongwu saw the opportunity and launched the secret technique of the Nine Heavens Divine Dragon Technique. In Yang soul lock spell was a secret technique that specialized in attacking the soul. It could be seen that Bukuin's physical defense was amazing. The strength of a false divine emperor expert was unquestionable. Even though Yang Hongwu's strength had increased greatly in this formation, he still could not kill Bukuin in one fell swoop. Bukuin's spiritual energy seemed to be limitless, which made Yang Hongwu very angry. However, Yang Hongwu soon found Bukuin's weakness. This fella's spiritual energy seemed to be his weakness. After finding the weakness, Yang Hongwu's eyes shot out a cold light. The opportunity had come. It was time to kill Bukuin. Die! The Yin Yang soul lock spell burst out. Bukuin's body froze for a breath. However, in a battle between experts, a breath time was enough to do a lot of things. Yang Hongwu burst out with an amazing power. The Grand Mist Saber was unleashed to the extreme. Mysterious Dragons, 9 transformations, open. Grand Mist Saber, Raging Dragon breaks the sky slash. The Grand Mist Saber emitted a dazzling light that was filled with the power to destroy the heavens and the earth. When the saber slashed out, the sky was about to be torn apart by the saber. A huge crack appeared in the void as the saber slashed heavily on Bukuin's body. Kacha! A crisp sound was heard. Bukuin's defense was shattered, and Yang Hongwu's finger burst out. Jingshun finger, slaying gods and demons with one finger. The power of this finger was terrifying. Jingshun finger was one of Yang Hongwu's most powerful attacks. Its destructive power was even more terrifying. Bam! Bukuin was sent flying by Yang Hongwu's attack. There was a hole in his chest. At this moment, Bukuin was seriously injured. Although he was not dead, he was not far from death. Ah, damn little bastard. Bukuin was terrified. He did not expect this little bastard to have so many tricks up his sleeves. Where did this little bastard come from? Could there be a peerless expert behind him? Ordinary divine emperors couldn't raise such a monstrous cultivator. There was no such monstrous cultivator in the dragon world. Even though the Dragon King was strong and had a frightening foundation, He absolutely couldn't groom such a terrifying genius. If he had such a foundation, then the variant of a dragon race would have been slain by him long ago. Bukuin died. Yang Hongwu summoned the Dragon Transformation Pagoda and Dragon Gate. Suppress. Chapter 15-16. Finally break through to true God realm. Trying to suppress me? You must be dreaming. Bukuin roared. Although he was injured, he knew that if he was really suppressed at this time, it would definitely be a dead end. He had no choice but to go all out or he would die. Blood chi burn. Bukuin roared and started to burn his blood chi. This was a secret technique that he cultivated. It was very powerful. Burning his blood chi could allow him to gain great power in a short period of time. His cultivation could reach the Divine Emperor realm instead of the fake Divine Emperor realm. Yang Hongwu's face fell as he sensed that Bukuin was going all out. Burning your blood chi? That's all you can do. Yang Hongwu snorted. He was not stupid enough to give Bukuin a chance. Seal. Following Yang Hongwu's shout, a scroll appeared. This was the scroll of good fortune that Yang Hongwu had obtained. Within this scroll, there was an ancient and mysterious power contained within. The instant the scroll was unfurled, an ancient nomological power appeared. The power of the Great Path nomological laws turned into a huge net that instantly landed on Bukuin's body. Damn it! My power, my cultivation, how is this possible? Bukuin's expression changed greatly as he cried out in disbelief after being trapped by the net. Die! Yang Hongwu roared and slashed down with his saber. Kacha! Bukuin's head was chopped off instantly. Then, Yang Hongwu activated the devouring furnace. The huge furnace formed a suction force and sucked Bukuin's body into the furnace. Raging flames burned. This flame was the karmic fire of the Red Lotus. It was extremely powerful and could incinerate anything. After Bukuin's body was swallowed into the furnace, it was refined bit by bit. The speed was amazing. Both his soul and his body had been refined. Yang Hongwu's cultivation realm finally started to increase bit by bit. Although it was slow, Yang Hongwu knew that he was finally going to break the shackles of the half-step true God realm and become a true Tai, true God realm expert. Crack! All Yang Hongwu heard was a dull thud. It was as though a door had been opened and the bottleneck of the primordial true God state had been broken. I've finally reached the Tai, true God realm. Yang Hongwu opened his eyes as the aura around him burst forth once more. At this moment, Yang Hongwu had already put away the surrounding array formation. Being able to kill Bukuin, the contribution of this spear array he had set up was indispensable. This array formation consumed a great deal of energy. If Bukuin had burned his lifeblood from the beginning and had not been careless, Yang Hongwu would not have had a chance to kill him. Now that his cultivation had broken through to the primordial true God realm, not only had he replenished the energy that he had used to set up the array, but his aura had also become several times stronger than before. His combat power had also increased significantly. Facing a Divine Lord realm, he did not need to set up array formations now to be able to resist. As long as his opponent was not a godly emperor, he would be able to kill them. Moreover, after his cultivation had broken through, Yang Hongwu had sensed an aura. It was the aura of the Dragon Gate. The Dragon Gate fragment had come from the sacred grounds of the dragons. However, what surprised Yang Hongwu even more was not that he had found the location of the Dragon Gate fragment, but that Yang Hongwu had discovered that the genius tokens he had obtained were not simple. These genius tokens actually contained the creation chi. Some memories surfaced in Yang Hongwu's mind. These genius tokens were actually condensed from the fragments of the Fortune Talisman. The Fortune Talisman was also a supreme divine item that had been shot out from the creation Heavenly Gate. Although it was not as good as the legendary 8 Great Divine Talismans, it was not far off. The Fortune Talisman was condensed from a ball of fortune origin that had been shot out from the creation Heavenly Gate by a supreme expert. With the Fortune Talisman, one would be able to obtain supreme fortune, and comprehend the legendary Fortune Tao. Fortune was illusory and illusory, but it was real. The stronger and richer one's fortune was, the easier it would be for them to cultivate. They were like the children of the world, receiving the love of every world and every plane. This was also what Yang Hongwu had discovered with the world annihilation Dharma. After his cultivation, had broken through to the primordial true God realm. In this world, the greatest help to Yang Hongwu was the Dragon Transformation Pagoda and the Dragon Gate. If he could obtain the Fortune Talisman, it would be much more helpful to Yang Hongwu than the Dragon Transformation Pagoda and the Dragon Gate Fragment. As long as the Fortune Talisman was refined into the World Annihilation Dharma, Yang Hongwu would be able to enhance it. At that time, as long as his mind power and magic power were sufficient, he would be able to refine and devour any world or plane in the universe. Moreover, no matter which world or plane he entered, he would receive the fortune of that world and become the child of fortune of that world. This was what was truly terrifying. Using the Talisman of Fortune, anyone could silently blend into the world without any repulsion. Of course, this was not very significant before he had obtained the World Annihilation Dharma. However, it was different now. After obtaining the World Annihilation Dharma, he would be repelled by the heavenly Tao once he was discovered in any world. However, with the Fortune Talisman, he could completely conceal the World Annihilation Dharma. This would be of great help to Yang Hongwu when he wanted to plunder the world origin energy in the future. However, it was not easy to obtain the Fortune Talisman. The Genius Token was only a part of the Fortune Talisman. Yang Hongwu estimated that even if all the Genius Tokens in the Sacred Dragon battlefield were combined, they would only be a small part of the Fortune Talisman. After Yang Hongwu broke through to the primordial true God realm, the Thunder Tribulation also descended. A huge tribulation cloud formed in the sky. It was dark and full of destructive aura. The entire area within a radius of 10,000 feet was shrouded by this terrifying aura. Everyone present was stunned. Bukuin was killed. A half-step true God Realm martial artist had actually killed a pseudo-divine Emperor Dragon's variant. His combat strength was too terrifying, wasn't it? Many people who had a problem with Yang Hongwu were scared to death, especially the three geniuses of Boar City. They were extremely frightened. Blair had been killed, and now even Bukuin had been killed. Yang Hongwu would definitely deal with them next. Chapter 15-17. Tribulation Transcendence. Let's go. It's our chance to escape while he's going through the tribulation. That's right, let's go. You want to leave? Are you dreaming? Yang Hongwu certainly discovered Blair's subordinates and wanted to use this opportunity to leave, but how could Yang Hongwu let them do as they wished? Yang Hongwu's big hand grabbed toward them. Their strength was far from reaching Blair's level, let alone compared to Bukuin. It was simply the difference between heaven and earth. The gap was too big. Yang Hongwu's grab instantly crushed their heads. The three of them couldn't be more dead. Seeing how brutal Yang Hongwu was, the others were terrified. They were afraid of the dragon-devouring beast previously. Now that the dragon-devouring beast and Bukuin were killed by Yang Hongwu, they were no match for Yang Hongwu. They didn't even dare to move. Young Master Hong, we have nothing to do with Blair and the others. Leave the Genius Token behind and scram, Yang Hongwu said coldly. The only thing Yang Hongwu was interested in now was the Genius Token. Although these people were quite talented, Yang Hongwu didn't care at all. Yes. No one dared to go against Yang Hongwu's words and put down the Genius Token one by one. What a joke. How could they dare to go against Yang Hongwu's words? Yang Hongwu's strength was too terrifying. The three geniuses of Boar City were all very strong, at least slightly stronger than them. However, the three of them were killed by Yang Hongwu in one strike. They didn't even have the strength to resist. This was enough to prove how terrifying his strength was. It was absolutely impossible for him to escape. Although the Genius Token was good, their lives were more important. Of course, there were also some people who were filled with resentment. They looked at Yang Hongwu and unwillingly put down the medallion. They were cursing him in their hearts. That damn brat, the heavenly tribulation this time, was so strong and terrifying. There was no way he could survive it. He was definitely going to die. Thus, after placing down the prodigy writ, some people left, but there were still a dozen or so people who didn't leave. They were waiting in the distance, waiting for the heavenly tribulation to descend. Once Yang Hongwu died under the heavenly tribulation, the genius medallion would still belong to them. They could even obtain the treasures on Yang Hongwu's body. One had to know that Yang Hongwu was able to kill Bu Kuan and Blair. How could the treasures in his hands be few? Bu Kuan was a fake divine emperor expert. Naturally, he had a lot of precious treasures. Blair's treasures were not as good as Bu Kuan's, but they were not inferior to his. Plus, he also had some treasures on him. Since he was able to kill Blair and Bu Kuan, how could he do that if he didn't have any treasures? One had to know how terrifying Bu Kuan's strength was. It was said that Bu Kuan was the strongest person under the Divine Emperor realm. As long as it wasn't the Dragon Emperor, Divine Monarch, Divine Emperor, Na Yi, and the Demon Emperor, nobody could be his opponent. Therefore, since Yang Hongwu was able to kill Bu Kuan, he must have some treasures in his hands. There were so many supreme treasures, who wouldn't be moved by them? As the saying goes, people die for wealth, birds die for food. Wealth could move people's hearts. Yang Hongwu obviously noticed that these people had not left. However, Yang Hongwu didn't care about them. So what if they didn't leave? He wasn't worried at all. These people were too weak. If Yang Hongwu wanted to kill them, it would be as easy as flipping his hand. He could kill all of them with a single finger. Looking at the tribulation cloud in the sky, Yang Hongwu smiled. Luli didn't encounter any heavenly tribulation during his breakthrough. He didn't expect that he would encounter heavenly tribulation when he broke through. This made Yang Hongwu very surprised. For Yang Hongwu, heavenly tribulation was a tonic. With the power of heavenly tribulation, his cultivation base could be improved continuously. If it became a heavenly punishment, it would be even better. Then, Yang Hongwu's cultivation had risen to primordial real God realm, and he had countless treasures to protect himself. He could not be mentioned in the same breath as before. He was much stronger than before. Hence, Yang Hongwu was very confident. Come on. Yang Hongwu looked up the tribulation cloud in the sky and sneered. He raised his middle finger and said, "Don't be too weak. Otherwise, I won't be interested." Seeing Yang Hongwu's action, the people in the distance were stunned. He's crazy. This kid is crazy. Yeah, he dares to provoke heavenly tribulation. He's courting death. Another person shouted. Ah, he dares to provoke heavenly tribulation. He's dead meat. When he dies under heavenly tribulation, not only will we get the genius token, but we will also get the supreme treasures on him. The possibility is not high. Heavenly tribulation is too scary. Those treasures of his might not be able to withstand it. Another person shook his head and said, "Don't be happy too early. His strength is too scary. Since he dares to provoke heavenly tribulation, do you think he doesn't have the confidence?" A person hiding behind the crowd said. If Yang Hongwu paid attention, he would know who this person was. It was Black Dragon Bohai. Bohai, it's you? You know the guy very well? He's from Shug City. Of course you hope that he can withstand heavenly tribulation. However, you're thinking too much. No matter how strong he is, he can't withstand such a terrifying heavenly tribulation. No one can survive after provoking heavenly tribulation. Rumor has it that 10,000 years ago, there was a peerless genius with amazing talent. He broke through to the divine monarch realm at the age of 50. Moreover, his fighting strength was terrifying. He killed a divine emperor expert when he was in the divine monarch realm. Later on, because he provoked heavenly tribulation and heavenly tribulation, the heavenly Tao directly sent down heavenly tribulation. Another person heard Bohai's words and couldn't help but laugh. If he didn't provoke heavenly tribulation, the possibility of him passing through heavenly tribulation is still very high. However, he shouldn't seek his own death by provoking heavenly tribulation. He's too arrogant. The tribulation cloud in the sky was furious. As if it felt Yang Hongwu's provocation, the tribulation cloud became even more terrifying. The tribulation cloud continued to expand. At this moment, the tribulation cloud covered a radius of 10,000 jong. The people who were waiting for Yang Hongwu to pass through heavenly tribulation in the distance were shocked. Their location was covered by the tribulation cloud. If it wasn't for the fact that the center of the tribulation cloud was far away from them, they would have been suffocated by the terrifying pressure. We have to stay far away. Otherwise, heavenly tribulation will descend and envelop us. That will be troublesome. Someone said, yeah, heavenly tribulation is too terrifying. I've seen my uncle's heavenly tribulation before. It pales in comparison to this. They're not on the same level. Chapter 15:18. It became a heavenly punishment after nurturing for a long time. The first lightning tribulation finally descended. This lightning tribulation was rather terrifying. It was the size of a bowl and filled with a terrifying, destructive aura. A purplish-black lightning tribulation. This is simply too terrifying. After seeing the lightning tribulation clearly, the people watching from afar were even more horrified as they screamed loudly. What? That's the purple lightning of destruction. Heavens, the first lightning tribulation is the purple lightning of destruction. It looks like he has completely angered the heavenly tribulation. The purple lightning of destruction. Only the most evil people who were tainted with endless negative karma would have the purple lightning of destruction appear in their heavenly tribulations. However, it was absolutely impossible for the purple lightning of destruction to appear in the first lightning tribulation. After all, the heavenly tribulations were stronger and more terrifying than the previous one. If the purple lightning of destruction appeared in the first lightning tribulation, then how terrifying would the subsequent lightning tribulations be? Especially the might of the last lightning tribulation. It was more terrifying than all the previous lightning tribulations combined. Heavenly tribulations were like warriors. The first lightning tribulation was just a test. The subsequent lightning tribulations would become stronger and more terrifying. Since ancient times, no one had ever had the terrifying purple lightning of destruction as their first lightning tribulation. TSK. Terrifying. Savage. I wonder what atrocities he has committed. It's actually the purple lightning of destruction. It's too terrifying. Yeah, if it were me, I wouldn't even be able to withstand the first lightning tribulation. A half-step divine Lord Realm warrior muttered, "Do you still think he can withstand the heavenly tribulation?" Someone looked at Bohai and asked. Bohai was speechless. Although he knew that the heavenly tribulation was terrifying, he did not expect it to be terrifying to such an extent. TSK. This heavenly tribulation isn't a heavenly punishment, but it's comparable to one. No, look at this. Bohai also suspected that Yang Hongwu was doomed this time. However, in the next instant, he was stunned. He saw that Yang Hongwu did not dodge. He did not even use his weapon. Instead, he stretched out his hand and used his physical body to receive the terrifying lightning tribulation. Kacha! The lightning tribulation landed on Yang Hongwu's body. A majestic power entered Yang Hongwu's body. He actually used his physical body to resist the lightning. Isn't this too terrifying? What a strong physical body. No wonder he dares to challenge the heavenly tribulation. So what if you have a strong physical body? I don't believe that he can resist for long. He seems to be using the heavenly lightning to temper his body. I've heard that in ancient times, there was a sect called the Thunder Tao sect. This sect had an incomparably powerful cultivation technique called the heavenly lightning body tempering art. This cultivation technique is incomparably powerful. If one cultivates it to the extreme, he could even use his body to resist the heavenly punishment. To them, the heavenly lightning force is not only harmless to them, but also the best energy for them. It's much better than the so-called supreme pills. Could it be that he obtained the inheritance of the Thunder Tao Heaven sect from the ancient times? Obtained the heavenly thunder body tempering art? Is the heavenly lightning body tempering art really that powerful? I don't know. No one has ever seen the heavenly lightning body tempering art. It's just a legend. He dares to use the heavenly lightning body tempering art. I'm afraid that only those who obtain the inheritance of the Thunder Tao Heaven sect can do it. You'll know if you continue watching. Using the heavenly lightning body tempering art to temper the body might not necessarily be the heavenly lightning body tempering art. In our Basha city, There's a supreme tyrant body tempering art. If one cultivates it to the extreme, he can also resist the heavenly lightning body tempering art with his body and cultivate the supreme tyrant body. His aura is increasing. Yang Hongwu laughed after devouring the energy of the first heavenly lightning tribulation. Is that all you've got? Too weak. Too weak. You're not even enough to scratch my itch. Yang Hongwu mocked the heavenly Tao once again. Oh my God, is he courting death? At this moment, the crowd couldn't help but gasp. How dare he continue to provoke the heavenly lightning body tempering art? Although the first heavenly lightning tribulation didn't cause him any harm, it didn't mean that he could withstand the following heavenly lightning tribulation so easily. He actually continued to provoke the heavenly lightning tribulation and the heavenly Tao. No one dared to do so. Rumble, rumble. The pressure in the void became even more terrifying. The tribulation clouds in the sky rumbled and gathered together to form a huge eye. The eye of heavenly punishment. The heavenly lightning tribulation is changing. That's the eye of heavenly punishment. It has transformed into a heavenly punishment. He's courting death. How dare he anger the heavenly Tao and send down a heavenly punishment? Haha, Hongwu is dead for sure. This time, he's definitely dead. Since ancient times, no one has been able to withstand the heavenly punishment. That's right. What a pity, what a pity. He's a peerless genius. If he grows up, I'm afraid that even the Dragon Emperor and the strongest person in the 6 worlds, Zeus Divine Emperor, will be suppressed by him. Someone lamented. He's too arrogant. What we should be worried about now is the genius token and the treasures on him. Another person smiled bitterly. I'm afraid that the genius token won't be able to survive the heavenly punishment. Even his treasures will be turned into nothingness under the heavenly punishment. Everyone's face fell when they heard that. The heavenly punishment was too terrifying. What could be preserved under the heavenly punishment? Even those supreme treasures couldn't withstand the heavenly punishment, let alone the genius token. The genius token was very important to them. If they didn't have enough genius tokens, they wouldn't be able to activate the teleportation formation to enter the dragon's sacred ground and the dragon raising pool. They knew that the heavenly punishment was coming. Before the heavenly punishment, they needed to have enough strength to protect themselves. Entering the dragon raising pool and the sacred dragon pool to cultivate was the best opportunity. Even if they weren't qualified to enter the dragon raising pool and the sacred dragon pool, they could use the genius token to teleport to the cultivation tower in the dragon's sacred ground. Cultivating in the cultivation tower in the sacred ground of the dragon's sacred ground would allow them to cultivate at a rapid pace. They could also obtain a divine technique, which was very important to them. A divine technique was enough to raise their cultivation and battle prowess to a higher level. If they could enter the dragon raising pool or the sacred dragon pool to cultivate, they would obtain endless benefits. The dragon raising pool and the sacred dragon pool could allow them to be reborn. Some people could even improve their bloodline and evolve. However, if they didn't have the genius token, they wouldn't be qualified to obtain these benefits. If it were any other time, it wouldn't be a problem. However, the heavenly punishment was the most terrifying thing. Once it descended, the entire 6 worlds would be affected. Chapter 1519. In the depths of nothingness, heaven's punishment? Good timing. Yang Hongwu looked at the descending lightning tribulation and smiled. For Yang Hongwu, if it was just a heavenly tribulation, it would not be enough. If it became a heavenly punishment, it might be able to increase his cultivation by 2 or 3 minor levels. If there was no heaven's punishment or heaven's punishment, it would be difficult for him to break through 2 or 3 small realms. He didn't know how long it would take. Of course, if there were enough resources, it would be possible. However, what Yang Hongwu lacked the most now was resources. How could he get so many resources easily? One should know that Yang Hongwu's current cultivation required a huge amount of resources to raise by 1 small realm. Yang Hongwu estimated that even if he were to devour and refine a pseudo-emperor level dragon pearl, he wouldn't be able to raise his cultivation by 1 small realm. It could be seen how much resources he would need to raise his cultivation by one small realm. Heaven's punishment became heaven's punishment. Its power increased by a lot and became even more terrifying. The second lightning tribulation was much more powerful than the previous one. Bolts of lightning test fell one after another. Yang Hongwu was still using his physical body to resist the lightning and refine his physical body. The immortal dragon body was finally upgraded. At that moment, Yang Hongwu's physical body was comparable to a half-step to Sir God Realm Warrior. After refining to this level, Yang Hongwu realized that the immortal dragon body didn't seem to be able to be upgraded any further. Looking at the lightning test that was getting faster and more terrifying, Yang Hongwu took out the devouring furnace. Once the devouring furnace was out, the speed of devouring the power of lightning became even faster. Yang Hongwu's cultivation also increased by a level. From level 1 Tai True God, it increased to level 2 Tai True God Realm. He can even devour and refine the power of lightning to raise his cultivation. Seeing that Yang Hongwu's cultivation had increased, the people in the distance all stared with their eyes wide open. What kind of divine skill is this? He can devour the power of lightning for his own use. This is definitely not something that the heavenly lightning body reshaping skill can do. Could he have the ancient lightning sacred body? It's possible. Legend has it that in ancient times, there was a super expert who was born to control of lightning sacred body. He could use the power of lightning to raise his cultivation. When the people heard that, they were stunned. If it was sacred body, heaven's punishment wouldn't be able to destroy him. Instead, it would bring him benefits and raise his cultivation. Let's go. What's the matter? You don't want to leave? Do you want to wait for death here? Yes, senior brother. Let's go as well. The other person laughed bitterly. Ziyu, Chio. Are you? No. I don't believe that he can survive the heavenly punishment. That is the heavenly punishment. So what if he has the ancient sacred body of thunder? Let's stay too, Wang Huaqing said. Heavenly punishment, heavenly punishment. How can it be a single lightning punishment? If you're not leaving, then we're leaving. Seer shook his head and sighed. I don't want to take the risk. Even if he can't withstand heaven's punishment, what kind of treasure can be completely preserved under heaven's punishment? If the treasure can really be preserved under heaven's punishment, its power will be terrifying. Once Hongwu dies, it will escape immediately. It's almost impossible to catch those treasures. If the treasure's level was too low, it would be destroyed by heaven's punishment. Those supreme treasures had their own spirituality. Those treasures with spirituality would automatically choose their owners. Once their owners died, they would either self-destruct or escape into the void. Therefore, it was almost impossible to get those treasures. Sears was a smart person. He knew that the possibility of getting those treasures was too small. Moreover, it was a huge risk. It wasn't worth it. Instead of taking the risk, it was better to look for the genius token. At that time, he could enter the holy land of dragons, the dragon nurturing pond, or even the holy dragon pond. That would be the greatest benefit. It's good that he's gone. One less opponent. Wang Huaqing said. Wang Huaqing and Sears had a good relationship. However, if there were huge benefits, this relationship was nothing. However, Wang Huaqing had to admit that Hill's strength was very powerful. Although his strength wasn't as good as Blair's, he could definitely be considered one of the most outstanding people among the younger generation. He was a notch stronger than Wang Huaqing. Wang Huaqing didn't have enough confidence to deal with Sears if he were to go against him. Yang Hongwu wasn't in the mood to care about others at this time. He was crazily devouring the lightning energy of heaven's punishment. After the 48th lightning bolt, Yang Hongwu looked at the tribulation cloud in the sky. The huge eye of heaven's punishment condensed into a shadow. This shadow was something Yang Hongwu was very familiar with. The projection of the lightning spear? Yang Hongwu looked at the void and saw a long spear condense into a shadow. It was gradually solidifying. It was the spear of thunder. In the past, the appearance of the lightning spear wouldn't be the 49th lightning bolt. However, this time, the 49th lightning bolt had appeared. Generally speaking, the lightning spear was the last lightning bolt of the heaven's punishment. It was also the most terrifying and powerful one. However, this time, it seemed to have appeared too early. Devour. Devour it. Yang Hongwu looked at the lightning spear and roared. The devouring furnace on his body released a huge suction force and swallowed the lightning spear into the furnace. After being burned by the karmic fire of the Red Lotus, it was continuously refined. God, he actually suppressed the lightning spear. It seems like he wants to refine and devour it. Everyone was stunned. Domineering. Too domineering. What kind of secret technique was that? It could actually suppress the lightning spear and seem to be able to refine it. Is he still human? Too terrifying. Too terrifying. What genius? What monster? What unparalleled genius? In front of him, all of them were not worth mentioning. He was too powerful. Everyone's heart was filled with endless fear. He dares to refine the lightning spear. He's courting death. The real body of the lightning spear is rumored to be an existence that surpasses the divine emperor realm. How dare he devour and refine the projection of the lightning spear? This will definitely enrage the lightning spear. At that time, the lightning spear will release a terrifying force and travel through the void to kill him. That's right. He's going to die for being so presumptuous. Everyone looked at Yang Hongwu and hoped that Yang Hongwu would be killed. However, would that happen? In the depths of the void, a tall figure opened his eyes. Chapter 1520. Refine. Refine Yang Hongwu was devouring and refining the Spear of Thunder when he suddenly felt a powerful force coming from the projection of the Spear of Thunder. The power of the lightning spear is actually increasing. Could it be that the lightning spear's main body is transmitting power? Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes when he sensed the changes in the thunder spear in the devouring furnace. He quickly figured out where the problem lay. There was no other possibility for the lightning spear's power to increase. It had to be that the lightning spear's true body had made a move to deal with him. Good timing. Yang Hongwu rejoiced. He did not know where the main body of the thunder spear was. He did not know how far away it was. However, the fact that the lightning spear could transmit its power to him was something that absolutely shocked Yang Hongwu. If the lightning spear's main body were to descend, he would definitely be like an ant in front of the lightning spear, unable to withstand a single blow. The moment they saw the lightning spear, they wanted to flee. However, they did not know where the lightning spear's main body was. How could it possibly descend? Moreover, he couldn't descend here, so he could only transmit the theory and build a projection again. This was exactly what Yang Hongwu wanted. The lightning spear's energy was boundless. He could refine it and use it to break through his cultivation. Devouring furnace, refine. Yang Hongwu roared. The devouring furnace was pushed to the extreme. It devoured and refined like crazy. Damn it, you little bastard. What kind of demonic technique did you cultivate? You can actually devour my projection without any restraint. Brat, do you know that you're courting death? Stop. The projection of the thunder spear turned into a human figure and shouted at Yang Hongwu. Haha, you are the lightning spear? Yang Hongwu looked at the projection of the thunder spear and smiled. You actually sent me energy. I really have to thank you. In fact, if the lightning spear had not been swallowed into the furnace, Yang Hongwu would have been under a lot of pressure. However, the thunder spear only appeared after it was pulled into the devouring oven. It was suppressed by the devouring oven and the Red Lotus Hellfire, so it could not use its power at all. It could not deal with Yang Hongwu at all. Kid, do you know who I am? Do you know that you're courting death? I'm the Sovereign Lord, the Spear of Lightning, and I control the power of lightning. How dare you try to assimilate my projection? Thunderbolt Spear was furious. Amir Tai, real god martial artist, dared to be so presumptuous. He even dared to refine his projection. This made Thunderbolt Spear extremely angry. So what? I'm so scared. If it's your real body, I'm definitely not your match. However, you're just a projection. I'm not afraid. Moreover, your projection is still in my devouring oven. In here, you can only be devoured by me. As for your real body, you can't descend. Yang Hongwu laughed heartily. Thunderbolt Spear was really a good person. The power of the projection that he had sent over was being assimilated by Yang Hongwu. He had to admit that the power of the lightning spear was of a much higher level than the power of heaven's punishment. After assimilating the power, Yang Hongwu felt that his power was increasing rapidly. If there was another lightning spear's power, it would be great. He might even be able to break through 2 levels and enter level 4 Tai, true God realm. After all, Yang Hongwu had not completely assimilated the power of the lightning spear's projection. He felt that he was only a little bit away from breaking through the shackles and entering level 3 Tai True God Realm from level 2 Tai True God Realm. Damn it, you're courting death. I'll fulfill your wish. Thunderbolt Spear's eyes shot out a terrifying lightning light towards Yang Hongwu. This lightning light was filled with a terrifying destructive power. If it hit, even a peak half-step divine emperor expert would die without a doubt. Come on, devouring oven, devour it. Yang Hongwu looked at the lightning light and laughed heartily. The devouring oven split into another oven and started to revolve. It opened its mouth towards the lightning light and formed a vortex. Instantly, the vortex devoured the lightning light. The lightning light was devoured by the devouring oven without causing any ripples. How is this possible? Thunderbolt Spear saw this, and his eyes opened wide. What treasure is this? Why haven't I seen it before? Thunderbolt Spear was a supreme treasure and was extremely powerful. He had already broken through the shackles and transcended the category of treasures. He had successfully cultivated a human form, and his strength was even more terrifying. He was an existence that had surpassed the divine emperor realm. He had never thought that there would be such a terrifying treasure in the great thousand world. It was able to devour his attack and his lightning light. Could it be the devouring emperor? Suddenly, Thunderbolt Spear thought of a person. That person was the devouring emperor. No one knew where the devouring emperor came from. No one knew whether he was an innate human or a Dharma treasure. However, one thing was for sure. The devouring emperor was extremely powerful. He was definitely the strongest person in the great thousand world. If this was the devouring emperor's incarnation, then everything could be explained. Just as Thunderbolt Spear was stunned, Yang Hongwu took action. The devouring oven was activated to the extreme. The Dharma power in his body surged crazily like 1,000 soldiers and horses. It was also like a torrential flood that broke through the sky. The faster the Dharma power in his body revolved, the faster the refining speed. Crack! A crisp sound rang out from Yang Hongwu's body. One of the shackles had been broken. Yang Hongwu's cultivation base had increased. Level 3 Tai, True God Realm. Yang Hongwu had already broken through to level 2 Tai, True God Realm. After devouring and refining Thunderbolt Spear, Yang Hongwu's cultivation base increased again. He broke through the shackles of level 2 Tai, True God Realm, and entered level 3 Tai, True God Realm. Yang Hongwu did not dare to imagine that he could have such a rapid breakthrough in his cultivation base. Heavenly Punishment, Thunderbolt Spear. This was simply too good. Damn little beast. It doesn't matter if you have inherited the devouring emperor's legacy or not. I'll make sure you die without a burial place. Thunderbolt Spear was only left with a trace of consciousness. He did not expect that this little beast would disregard everything and refine his incarnation. Chapter 1521. Pursuit. You little bastard, you deserve to die 1,000 times. When I find this pocket dimension in the future, I will make sure you die without a burial place. Even this pocket dimension will be reduced to ashes. The lightning spear roared before the last wisp of consciousness disappeared. It wasn't that he didn't want to kill Yang Hongwu, but because Yang Hongwu was immune to the power of lightning and could even devour his lightning. Moreover, the power that he had sent down had reached its limit. If he wanted to kill Yang Hongwu, he had to send down more power. However, he was too far away from this pocket dimension. When Yang Hongwu heard this, he laughed and didn't care. He threw out a punch and shattered the last wisp of consciousness of the lightning spear. Then, he devoured and refined it. His control over the power of lightning became more proficient. Oh my God, the lightning spear has been refined and devoured by him. Is he still human? This is too terrifying. Let's go quickly. This person is not someone we can deal with. Yeah, if we stay and wait for him to pass the heavenly punishment, we will definitely die if he attacks us. A few more people left, but there were still some who stayed. After all, If Yang Hongwu was killed by the heavenly punishment, he would definitely leave behind a lot of good things. In their opinion, this was a great chance. Yang Hongwu's existence had caused great damage to the heavenly Tao of this pocket dimension. He was no longer tolerated by the heavenly Tao. The heavenly punishment is about to disperse. A person pointed at the tribulation cloud in the sky and was surprised to find that the tribulation cloud in the sky had actually dispersed. The terrifying pressure also disappeared with it. Even the heavenly punishment can't do anything to him. This person, could he be the reincarnation of an unparalleled expert? The Great Path Principle. That's the Great Path Principle. A person pointed at the mysterious runes surrounding Yang Hongwu and said, "It really is the power of the Great Path Principle." He actually comprehended the legendary Great Path Principle. No wonder the tribulation cloud dispersed. Between the heavenly Tao and the great Tao, there was a clear distinction between which was stronger and which was weaker. Although this world was a great world, the heavenly Tao of this world was still inferior to the great Tao. If he had comprehended the laws of the great path, then his tribulation would not be a heavenly tribulation, but a thunder tribulation of the great path. Once the great Tao laws appeared, the heavenly tribulation would disperse. This was very normal. As for Yang Hongwu, in reality, he had only comprehended a trace of the law of the great path lightning tribulation. As for comprehending the law of the great path, he was still far from it. Yang Hongwu felt extremely depressed as he watched the tribulation clouds of heavenly punishment disperse. It's gone just like that? Heavenly punishment? You're too weak. You're just a piece of trash. Yang Hongwu pointed at the sky and scolded. However, what left Yang Hongwu speechless was that no matter how much he insulted or provoked the heavenly punishment did not appear. The eye of heavenly punishment had long since disappeared. Yang Hongwu sighed helplessly. I didn't think that the heavenly tribulation this time would be so weak. It's too weak. I only broke through 2 small realms. If others were to hear this, they would probably faint from anger. That was heavenly punishment, and he actually despised it for being too weak. When others were going through a tribulation, they could not wait to have the weakest heavenly tribulation. However, he wanted the heavenly tribulation to be stronger, longer, and more lightning tribulations. However, what surprised Yang Hongwu was that the heavenly punishment had dissipated. Based on what he had thought, the heavenly punishment shouldn't be limited to the lightning tribulation. Now that the eye of heavenly punishment had dissipated, the heavenly punishment this time couldn't continue. However, this time, his cultivation had increased from level 1 Tai True God Realm to level 3 Tai True God Realm. This was already very good. His combat power had increased by several times compared to before. This was very worth it. Moreover, the greatest benefit for Yang Hongwu was that he had more control over the law of the Great Path Lightning Tribulation. If he could truly control the law of the Great Path Lightning Tribulation in the future, then he could control the Heavenly Tribulation and even the Great Path Lightning Tribulation. However, the current him was still too weak. There was still a long way to go before he could control the Great Path Lightning Tribulation. Yang Hongwu scanned his surroundings and found that everyone had already left. However, there were some people who had been guarding him for a while. Yang Hongwu remembered that these people had stayed behind to wait for him to be killed by heavenly punishment before taking advantage of the situation. Yang Hongwu would not let them off easily. Yang Hongwu thought about it. He originally wanted to release Lu Li from the Dragon Gate space. However, he hesitated and did not do so. After all, he had just offended the lightning spear. Who knew if that bastard could sense it? At the very least, Yang Hongwu would not release Lu Li in this short period of time. He was not afraid of the lightning spear. However, if Lu Li and the others encountered the lightning spear during their tribulation, they would not be able to withstand it if he was not present. Just in case, Yang Hongwu decided to wait until he entered the Holy Land of the Dragons before releasing Lu Li. Yang Hongwu disappeared in a flash. He followed the aura and chased after those people. Soon, Yang Hongwu caught up with the 2 people. One of them was called Randy, and the other was called Henry. The strength of the two was not very good. They were about the same as Xianyi. After all, Xianyi's talent was very outstanding. If it were not for Yang Hongwu, Xianyi might have become a very outstanding figure in this genius competition. He would definitely have occupied a position in the top 10. However, because of Yang Hongwu's existence, the most outstanding Blair had died. Xianyi had also been beheaded. We're so far away. That guy shouldn't be able to catch up, right? Randy said, probably. Besides, there's so many people. It's not just the two of us. Our luck can't be so bad, Henry said. However, I have a bad feeling about this, Randy said. You're thinking too much. You're too nervous. Henry laughed when he heard that. If he wants to chase, he'll chase after Wang Huacheng. Wang Huacheng is the strongest. That's true. Although we also stay behind, we're still far away. We're much farther away than Wang Huacheng and the others. Randy nodded in agreement. Compared to Wang Huacheng, they were much more low-key. Moreover, they left before Wang Huacheng. After all, Wang Huacheng was much more greedy. He was the last to leave. Are the two of you waiting for me? Yang Hongwu, of course, heard their conversation. He laughed and walked out. You. Randy was scared silly. That, senior brother Hongwu, did you come here to look for the genius token? Henry was also scared out of his wits. They never thought that Yang Hongwu would actually chase after them. Chapter 1522. Special Teleportation Formation. Yeah, I'm looking for the genius token. Yang Hongwu said, I lost 1,000 genius tokens. I don't know which bastard stole them. Who has the guts to steal senior brother Hongwu's genius token? He's courting death, Randy said. That's right. He's audacious and sinful. He deserves to be killed. He deserves to be killed. Harry hurriedly nodded in agreement. They didn't want to die. Although they knew Yang Hongwu was spouting nonsense, they had to agree with Yang Hongwu. Did you see it? Yang Hongwu asked. Senior brother Hongwu, we didn't see it, Randy said. You didn't see it? Yang Hongwu said coldly, but I clearly saw it. It was the two of you. Randy and Harry were scared to death. They hurriedly said, Senior brother Hongwu, no, it wasn't us. We only have 10 genius tokens. Randy and Henry then took out a few genius tokens from their storage rings. Only 10? Do you think I'm a fool? If you don't take them out, I'll kill you, Yang Hongwu said coldly. We really don't have any, Senior brother Hongwu, Randy said. Brother Randy, don't you understand? He's doing on purpose. He wants to kill us. Harry looked at Yang Hongwu and drew his weapon. He stared at Yang Hongwu, ready to attack at any time. We can only fight to the death. We might still have a chance to survive. Okay, Randy nodded. He stared at Yang Hongwu and said, Hongwu, you're very strong. You can even survive the heavenly punishment. However, we're not to be trifled with. Although we can't defeat you, we'll fight to the death if you push us too far. Fight to the death? Do you have the ability to do that? Yang Hongwu said coldly. Didn't you wait so long when I was going through the heavenly punishment to kill me and then steal my treasures? I have a lot of supreme treasures on me, don't I? As he spoke, Yang Hongwu took out something. This was the Dragonized Pagoda. This Dragon Transformation Pagoda is one of them. If you all want it, I'll give it to you. With that, Yang Hongwu tossed the Dragon Transformation Pagoda to Randy and Henry. The moment Yang Hongwu threw it out, the Dragonized Pagoda instantly enlarged. It contained a domineering aura locked onto Randy and Harry and ruthlessly smashed towards them. When Randy and Henry saw this, they were instantly horrified. This pagoda suppressed their bloodline greatly. In front of this Dragonized Pagoda, they felt that their cultivation was suppressed by 70%. At that moment, they could not even unleash 30% of their strength. Even if he unleashed all of his strength, he wouldn't be able to block it, let alone now that he was being suppressed. In a situation where he couldn't even unleash 30% of his strength, how could he block it? Bang! The two of them clenched their weapons tightly and bombarded the Dragonized Pagoda, attempting to block the terrifying attack of the pagoda. However, the two of them were too naive. They could only use 30% of their strength and could not withstand the terrifying impact of the Dragonized Pagoda. At that moment, with a loud bang, The two of them were sent flying. Like a kite with a broken string, he was sent flying out violently, crashing into two towering ancient trees. The two towering ancient trees were instantly broken apart. Just as Yang Hongwu was about to kill them all, a strange array formation appeared under the ancient tree that had been knocked down. A black mist appeared. The entire area within a radius of 30 feet was covered in strange runes. Demonic Qi. This is actually demonic Qi. Yang Hongwu couldn't be more familiar with this aura. This was demonic Qi. Moreover, this demonic Qi was incomparably pure. It was comparable to the demonic Qi of his original demonic Tao incarnation. This is an array, a teleportation array. Yang Hongwu was shocked. If it wasn't for an accident, Yang Hongwu wouldn't have been able to see that there was an array set up below. It was a strange teleportation array. On the other side of the teleportation array, demonic Qi was surging as if it was boundless. To have such majestic demonic Qi, the other side of the array was probably the demonic realm. Only the demonic realm could have such terrifying and pure demonic Qi. Moreover, even in the demonic realm, it was absolutely impossible to have such majestic demonic Qi in an ordinary place. Then, there was only one possibility. This demonic Qi was a paradise of the demonic race. For the demonic race, such a place with such dense demonic Qi was definitely an excellent place for cultivation. Yang Hongwu wanted to study this array carefully. However, in the distance, although Harry and Randy were seriously injured, they still wanted to escape. How could Yang Hongwu let them do as they wished? He didn't chase after them. However, Yang Hongwu used the Qi into Trinity's secret technique and instantly created an incarnation. This incarnation instantly turned into a ray of light and chased after the two of them. After doing all this, Yang Hongwu moved his consciousness. A huge consciousness penetrated the teleportation array in front of him and entered the demonic realm in order to explore the situation of the demonic realm. After Yang Hongwu's consciousness penetrated the array, he appeared in an ancient palace. In this ancient palace, there was an ancient well. This ancient well was emitting dense demonic Qi. This demonic Qi was very pure and filled with a mysterious aura. It even contained ancient and mysterious laws. This was the supreme demonic law. There were runes on the surface of the ancient well. These runes surprised Yang Hongwu. Demonic devouring runes. These ancient runes were exactly the same as the demonic devouring runes. Yang Hongwu took in a deep breath of air. He was absolutely astounded. The demon-devouring tattoo. That was an unparalleled demon tattoo. To think that he would be able to see the demon-devouring tattoo in this world of the demonic world. There must be a mystery in this ancient well. Yang Hongwu had a vague feeling that this ancient well might be related to one of the 8 great divine runes. You can leave now. Just as Yang Hongwu was deep in thought, a voice drifted over. Yang Hongwu hurriedly retracted his aura. Following that, a person appeared. This person's entire body was shrouded in a black robe. However, what shocked Yang Hongwu was that this person's aura was completely retracted. Yang Hongwu couldn't sense a trace of it. Yang Hongwu was horrified when he saw this. There were only 2 possibilities for him to be unable to sense a trace of his aura. First, this person was an ordinary person without any cultivation. Second, this person's cultivation had reached a terrifying level. He had completely concealed his aura. This was the so-called returning to one's original state. It's been 10,000 years. It's finally here. 3 more days, and the passage will be completely opened. The person murmured. 3 days later, the entire 6 realms will be under my feet. Chapter 1523. Special secret place. Feeling the terror of the other party, Yang Hongwu completely restrained his aura and did not dare to move. If he was careless and leaked a trace of his aura, it would definitely be sensed by that guy. At that time, he would be in big trouble. Although Yang Hongwu was conceited, he also knew how terrifying that guy's strength was. Even the Dragon Emperor was not his opponent. One must know that the Dragon Emperor and the Divine Emperor were all in the Divine Emperor realm. Moreover, they had been in the Divine Emperor realm for many years. Each of them had terrifying strength. After a while, that person finally left. Yang Hongwu heaved a sigh of relief. In 3 days, the passage would open. Could it be that this passage would lead to the dragon world and the divine world? That's not right. If the other party is strong enough, how could the barrier of the three realms stop him? His strength was so strong that for an expert like him, tearing the space barrier and entering the divine world and the dragon world from the demon world was not a difficult thing. Suddenly, Yang Hongwu smiled bitterly. He was too stupid. He did not understand this. It was not difficult for him to enter the divine world and the dragon world. However, it was not easy for him to become the master of the 6 worlds and dominate this great world. No matter how strong he was, he could not sweep the entire 6 worlds. This required a huge force. Therefore, if he wanted to seize the 6 worlds, he must let his army enter the divine world and the dragon world. If his army could not enter the divine world and the dragon world, it would be impossible for him to conquer the divine world and the dragon world. Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes. With a thought, he returned to his body. A great war was about to begin. Was this the so-called Great Calamity? However, for Yang Hongwu, if he could not control this great world, it would not be a loss for him. In fact, Yang Hongwu valued the Dragon Gate fragment the most. After obtaining it, he would return to the common people's continent. After finding the common people's great seal and the girls, he would conquer the divine world. He did not have much time left. He must obtain the Dragon Gate fragment within 3 days and try to find the way back. If he cannot find it, then he would make this world more chaotic. In this way, he could fish in troubled waters. It did not matter even if this world was destroyed. This was a great world. If Yang Hongwu wanted to devour the origin energy of this great world, it would not be easy. However, if the great calamity caused this great world to break, then it would be much easier for him to obtain the origin energy of this world. After returning to the Saint Dragon battlefield, Yang Hongwu wanted to leave and search for the genius token. But after hesitating for a moment, he arranged a formation. Although this formation was not very powerful, it could buy some time. More importantly, it could let Yang Hongwu know in advance that the other party had come out. After doing all this, Yang Hongwu used the power of the genius token to search for the other genius tokens. At the moment, he already had 13,000 genius tokens. However, he was still 7,000 away from collecting all the genius tokens. Most of the 7,000 genius tokens were located in another dangerous place in the Holy Dragon Battle Realm. Even Blair did not dare to enter this dangerous place in the past. This was because this place was a forbidden zone for magic power. Any martialist who entered this place would have their magic power sealed. They would only have the strength of their physical body. Those who dared to enter this place had to have an extremely strong physical body. If one's physical body was too weak, entering this place would be equivalent to courting death. Although dragons had very strong physical bodies, it was different in the forbidden zone for magic power. The strange beasts in this secret place had terrifying physical bodies. Furthermore, they could mobilize the power of the secret place. Therefore, even divine emperors would be courting death if they entered this secret place. Therefore, if the Komodo dragon's previous location was an extremely dangerous place, then this place was the scariest place to die. It was impossible for him to go to the Genius Medallion here. Everyone knew that collecting all the Genius badges would bring great benefits to the cultivator. It was rumored that if a genius could collect all the Genius tokens in the Saint Dragon battlefield, he would receive the inheritance of the Saint Dragon battlefield. The Saint Dragon battlefield was a supreme treasure left behind by a peerless powerhouse who had surpassed the Divine Emperor realm. It had been left behind for the development of the dragons and to nurture the geniuses of the dragons. Although the Saint Dragon battlefield was not as good as the Dragon Gate or the Dragonization Pagoda, it was not much weaker. Of course, this was not referring to the incomplete Dragon Gate, but the complete Dragon Gate and the Dragonization Pagoda. Therefore, based on the current situation, the Saint Dragon battlefield would be much more powerful if one did not obtain the complete Dragonization Pagoda and the Dragon Gate. Yang Hongwu did not understand why the guy from the Demon Realm would set up a teleportation formation in the Saint Dragon battlefield. Could it be that he wanted to seize the Saint Dragon battlefield? Yang Hongwu thought about it and felt that this possibility was very high. If one obtained the Saint Dragon battlefield, it would be equivalent to controlling the lifeline of the dragons. Using the Saint Dragon battlefield to deal with the dragons and control the dragon realm was definitely a very good idea. After half an hour, the number of genius tokens in Yang Hongwu's hands had reached 14,000. At this moment, he had also arrived at the entrance of the Forbidden Zone. This is the place. There's indeed a very dense aura of creation inside. What kind of treasure is there in this Forbidden Zone? I am really looking forward to it. At first, Yang Hongwu thought that this Forbidden Zone was a mysterious formation. After all, it could seal the spiritual power of a martial artist, even a divine emperor. If it was a formation, then this formation should be very powerful and terrifying. If he could learn it, then he would not need to pay such a high price to set up a formation to seal the spiritual power of others in the future. Yang Hongwu could set up a formation to seal the spiritual power of a martial artist. But the formation he had set up now could not seal the spiritual power of a divine emperor. Moreover, once the formation was activated, the consumption would be too great. Yang Hongwu would not be able to support it all. However, Yang Hongwu did not find any traces of a formation here. Not only was there no man-made formation, there was also no natural formation. This made Yang Hongwu even more curious. If there was no formation, then why could this place seal the spiritual power and cultivation of people? Chapter 1524. Giant Marching Ant. Isn't that Hongwu? He wants to go to the forbidden area. He's digging his own grave. Everyone's spiritual power will be sealed in the forbidden area. It's the same even for divine emperors. Rumor has it that there are terrifying exotic beasts in the forbidden area. They're as strong as peak divine emperors. Moreover, there are quite a number of them. Back then, I had a senior who cultivated a physique technique. He was so bold that he almost couldn't get out of the forbidden area. What? As an elder of yours, you actually entered the forbidden ground and came out alive? That's amazing. My senior almost died when he reached the edge of the forbidden area. That person shook his head and said, "There are many exotic beasts in the forbidden area. They're terrifying. Every time my senior talks about them, he's terrified." Yang Hongwu heard their conversation, but he didn't care. Yang Hongwu had already taken their genius tokens, and they didn't show any killing intent towards Yang Hongwu. Therefore, Yang Hongwu didn't bother to deal with them. It's best if Hongwu dies in there. One of them said, "That's right. If he dies, we'll have a chance." Another person said. Everyone nodded. After all, Yang Hongwu had taken all of their genius badges. They had gone through a lot of trouble to find them. Moreover, many of their companions had been killed by exotic beasts while searching for these genius badges. However, they didn't dare to resist Yang Hongwu because of his powerful strength. After all, they had seen how cruel Yang Hongwu was back then. After stepping into the forbidden area, Yang Hongwu found that his mana was indeed sealed. Even his mental strength was restricted. There was no way to use his mental strength to check the situation around him. He could only rely on his naked eyes. Yang Hongwu thought for a while and waved his hand. A mechanical beast appeared. Yang Hongwu frowned. He found that the mechanical beast was useless. It couldn't be activated. Yang Hongwu smiled bitterly. Mechanical beasts relied on energy stones, divine origin stones, or the cores of mutated beasts. However, in this space, even energy stones, divine source stones, and the cores of exotic beasts had been sealed. How could Yang Hongwu not be surprised? As expected of a forbidden area, Yang Hongwu kept the mechanical beast. Without any energy to drive it, it was like a piece of scrap metal. It was meaningless. He couldn't use his Dharma power, so the only thing he could use was his physical strength. He couldn't even use his treasures. Fortunately, Yang Hongwu had taken out the Hongmeng saber before he entered. Although there was no way to use magic power or mental power to activate the primordial saber, it could still be used as an extremely sharp weapon. In addition to his fleshy body strength, he should be able to unleash the combat strength of a divine lord. After walking for about 30 breaths of time, Yang Hongwu heard a cacophony of noises coming closer and closer. Yang Hongwu looked around, and saw a towering ancient tree not far away. He leaped up and landed on top of the ancient tree in no time. What the hell is this? Yang Hongwu took a look. Oh my god, there were so many mutated beasts that looked like ants. However, these mutated beasts were much bigger than ants. Each of them was as big as a kitten. However, they looked exactly like ants. Everywhere they went, there was a barren land. This reminded Yang Hongwu of a kind of ant on Earth. Marching ants. However, these ants were too big. They were as big as a cat, and there were so many of them. It was terrifying. It was too terrifying. Yang Hongwu smiled bitterly. Looking at the marching ants charging from afar, he groaned inwardly. This time, he was in big trouble. Although Yang Hongwu's physical strength was extremely strong and he had the Hongmeng saber, Yang Hongwu had no chance of winning against so many marching ants. Just like on Earth, the marching ants were absolutely invincible. No one was willing to encounter marching ants. Lions, tigers, and so on, these so-called kings of beasts were all vulnerable in front of these marching ants. Could it be that running away was the only way? Yang Hongwu's face darkened. He had not gone far into the Forbidden Land. There was still a chance to leave. However, Yang Hongwu did not want to give up. The more dangerous it was, the more powerful and precious the treasures in the secret land were. However, the swarming marching ants were a huge problem. If he was entangled by them, he would definitely die. Yang Hongwu was not confident. If he could use his Dharma power, he would not be afraid of these guys. However, the problem now was that he had no Dharma power at all. Therefore, he had no way to deal with these guys. Even when Yang Hongwu tried to summon the Red Lotus Hellfire, there was no response. While he was in a dilemma, Yang Hongwu suddenly found something strange. Wherever the marching ants went, not even a blade of grass grew. However, to his surprise, the marching ants suddenly bypassed a small tree. This small tree was only as thick as the mouth of a bowl. However, the marching ants took a detour around it. It should be noted that the tall, giant trees in front of him were not able to escape the fate of being destroyed and devoured. However, this inconspicuous small tree was preserved. It seemed that this small tree was not simple. However, no matter what the small tree was, it was equivalent to a life-saving straw for Yang Hongwu. Yang Hongwu pressed the branch under his feet low and kicked hard. With the help of the branch's elastic force, he leaped up and landed on the small tree. Looking at the densely packed, huge marching ants under his feet, Yang Hongwu's scalp went numb. After dozens of breaths, the marching ants disappeared in front of him. Wherever the marching ants went, it became a barren land. Within a radius of 10,000 feet, only the small tree under Yang Hongwu's feet contained a trace of vitality. Looking from afar, the places where the marching ants went were left with a lot of white bones. There was even an exotic beast the size of a small mountain. Brother, when Yang Hongwu was sighing, a voice sounded in his mind. Nini, it's you? Yang Hongwu was overjoyed. He did not expect Nini to wake up. What surprised Yang Hongwu even more was that she could still communicate with him. Yes, brother, that's great. I didn't expect you to wake up and be able to communicate with me. Yang Hongwu was overjoyed that Nini woke up and could communicate with him. Chapter 1525. Creation's Sacred Tree. Brother, where is this place? I can feel the aura of our ancestors, Nini said. Let me see if I can let you out. With a thought, Yang Hongwu attempted to send Nini out. What Yang Hongwu did not expect was that he actually succeeded. Nini turned into a beam of light and appeared in front of him. Nini, you're really out? Brother, what's wrong? Nini was stunned. She looked at the small tree below her and said, This small tree has the aura of our ancestors. This is the Creation Sacred Tree. Creation Sacred Tree? Yang Hongwu was confused. Nini was a member of the longevity group. Of course, Yang Hongwu had heard of the ancient tree of life, the ancient tree of war, and of course the world tree. However, he had never heard of the Creation Sacred Tree. The Creation Sacred Tree is the origin of all trees. Legend has it that the Creation Sacred Tree was an ancient tree that was born at the beginning of the universe. It can nurture creation and give birth to countless worlds. It can even evolve the universe, Nini said. It's our oldest ancestor. It can give birth to countless worlds and even create a multiverse. This, Yang Hongwu's eyes widened when he heard that. This little tree is so awesome. No wonder Yang Hongwu felt so refreshed on the small tree. His entire body was refreshed, and every cell in his body seemed to have come alive. It seemed like there was going to be a mysterious change. This change was hard to describe with words. However, one thing was for sure. It was definitely a good thing. Moreover, it was a great thing. Yes. However, this is just a sapling. It hasn't even given birth to intelligence yet, Nini said. If brother nurtures it well, it can definitely give birth to a world. It can even evolve the universe. Yang Hongwu rolled his eyes and said, Nini, are you kidding me? How long would it take for a sapling to reach the stage where it can evolve into a world? Probably, maybe a small world can be born in an era, Nini said. If brother has enough resources to nurture it, it might not even take an era. Hearing this, Yang Hongwu rolled his eyes. This was too much of a scam. An epoch wasn't just a day or two. That was more than 100,000 years. To other cultivators, an era's time wasn't considered long. After all, after one's cultivation reached Great Emperor Realm, one's lifespan would be over 10,000 years. When one reached Tai real god level, it was normal to have a lifespan of over 100,000 years. Therefore, for them, it was definitely worth it to give birth to a small world in an epoch. However, it was different for Yang Hongwu. To Yang Hongwu, an epoch was far too long. What a joke. Yang Hongwu had only cultivated for tens of years. In just tens of years, Yang Hongwu's cultivation had already reached level 3 primordial true god realm. And at most 1,000 years, Yang Hongwu believed that he should be able to break through the shackles and enter the God Emperor realm, or even surpass the God Emperor realm. After an era, who knew what level his cultivation base had reached? If his cultivation surpassed the God Emperor realm, would it still be difficult to open a small world? As for creating a universe and giving birth to a great universe, perhaps when his cultivation reached that level, it wouldn't be difficult. This isn't long. The lifespan of the longevity ancient tree tribe is at least 100 epochs. Normally, it would be thousands or even tens of thousands of epochs. 1 era's time is nothing. Nini can sleep for tens of thousands of years. Nini said after hearing that. Yang Hongwu was speechless when he heard that. She slept for tens of thousands of years. She didn't take time seriously at all. What a waste. What a waste. If he was given 10,000 years, he didn't know what realm he would reach. Cough, cough. Nini, I can't use your standard to measure it. To me, 10,000 years is too long, let alone an era. Yang Hongwu said, think about it. How long have I cultivated? Brother, the cultivation time is really not long. It doesn't even seem to be 100 years. Nini said, that's right. Look, I have cultivated for less than 100 years. How? Is my cultivation brother's cultivation? Nini suddenly exclaimed. There seems to be a lot of inheritance in my mind. Above the great emperor realm is the Tai true god realm. Brother, you have reached the Tai true god realm. It's incredible. I used to think that the great emperor realm was the highest realm. I didn't expect there to be Tai true god realm and Sir God realm above it. Yang Hongwu was even more speechless after hearing Nini's words. It seemed that Nini was the same as Lu Li. As his cultivation increased, so did their own cultivation. Thus, they would continue to receive inherited memories. Yang Hongwu was surprised to find that Nini's cultivation had reached the great emperor realm. This shocked Yang Hongwu quite a bit. Nini was simply a monster. She was too heaven-defying. She had never cultivated at all. She only slept for a night. But her cultivation had already reached the great emperor realm. It was simply infuriating to compare oneself to others. He wasn't so lucky to reach the great emperor realm after sleeping for a while. Yang Hongwu was annoyed when he thought about how he had worked so hard to break through to the Tai true god realm. As for Nini, she would probably be able to do it after sleeping for a while. Brother, I'm going to break through, Nini said before Yang Hongwu could say anything. Yang Hongwu opened his eyes wide. Nini, you're going to break through again? Yes. Brother, I feel that I can break through to the Tai true God realm. Nini said, "Brother, protect me first. I will be done very soon." Yang Hongwu felt like there were 1,000 alpacas galloping in his mind when he heard this. Mother asterisk Kerr, what kind of rhythm is this? This is too much of a blow to me. I'm about to break through to the Tai true God realm so easily. One should know how much effort and price I've paid to break through to the Tai true God realm. Okay, Nini, you break through first. Don't worry, I am here. Yang Hongwu was depressed and even jealous. However, he still had to do what he had to do. Thank you, brother. Nini sat down with her legs crossed and closed her eyes. Yang Hongwu could feel the energy around him being pulled over crazily. The next moment, Yang Hongwu was shocked to find that the energy was being devoured crazily. Even the sapling of the sacred tree of creation started to devour the energy. Yang Hongwu tried to use his skill, but realized that it was in vain. He couldn't devour the energy at all. Yang Hongwu was speechless. After about half an hour, Nini's aura suddenly changed. She had broken through. Chapter 1526. Rock Giant Yang Hongwu's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. She broke through just like that. This speed was too fast. After a while, Nini's aura stabilized. She opened her eyes and said, "Thank you, brother. Your cultivation speed is too fast." Yang Hongwu said, "I really envy you. Brother, your cultivation speed is even faster. Moreover, in terms of combat strength, I am far from being your opponent." Nini said. Yang Hongwu knew this. If Nini fought with him, Yang Hongwu only needed to summon the Red Lotus Hellfire, and Nini would not be able to resist. Brother, if you keep this sacred tree of creation in your inner world, it will be of great help to you. At that time, you can use the power of the sacred tree of creation to devour the creation aura in the void to cultivate. Nini said, "Sister Bao and I can also use the creation aura from the sacred tree of creation to cultivate." Okay, Yang Hongwu nodded. After knowing that this was the sacred tree of creation, how could Yang Hongwu let it go? No matter what, this was a very precious treasure. It was definitely not inferior to the Dragon Gate. Therefore, how could Yang Hongwu let it go? If he let it go, it would be intolerable. Yang Hongwu held the sacred tree of creation with both hands. Although the sacred tree of creation had not developed its own consciousness, it seemed to have sensed Yang Hongwu's thoughts. It did not resist at all, and Yang Hongwu pulled out easily. This surprised Yang Hongwu. Brother, although the sacred tree of creation has not developed its own consciousness, it can sense the aura in your body. Nini said, "This is just like when I chose to follow you. There's a special aura in your body that attracts us." Yang Hongwu was slightly taken aback. No matter what, this was a good thing. After all, this was the sacred tree of creation. "Nini, I can't communicate with my inner world now. How can I send you in?" Yang Hongwu asked. "Don't worry, big brother. I can bring the fortune divine tree into big brother's inner world. However, big brother needs to open up his mind. Otherwise, I won't be able to enter big brother's inner world." Nini said. Yang Hongwu nodded. Nini opened her mind and nodded at Yang Hongwu. Then, she disappeared with the divine tree of creatures. After Nini and the sacred tree of creatures entered his inner world, Yang Hongwu was pleasantly surprised to find that his inner world was continuously absorbing the power from the void. This was all thanks to the fortune divine tree. Yang Hongwu was pleasantly surprised. With the sacred tree of creation, his inner world was constantly expanding. Moreover, Yang Hongwu's cultivation base was also increasing along with the expansion of his inner world. The creation chi. Yang Hongwu also felt it. Yang Hongwu felt that he could break down the genius token fragment into creation chi if he wanted to. However, Yang Hongwu did not do so. After all, it was not worth it. Although there was creation chi in the genius token, Yang Hongwu now had the sacred tree of creatures, which could produce endless creation chi. How could Yang Hongwu care about the creation chi in the genius token? After all, Yang Hongwu still wanted to obtain the secret in the genius token. It was said that if he gathered all the genius tokens, he could obtain a huge secret. What was this huge secret? Yang Hongwu was very curious. Perhaps it was a supreme treasure? If it was a treasure that could be mentioned in the same breath as the Dragon Gate or the Dragon Transformation Pagoda, it would be very amazing. Of course, it was not easy to obtain such a supreme treasure. Yang Hongwu estimated that there might not be 3 of them in this world. Now, the things that Yang Hongwu wanted the most were the fragments of the Life Seal, the Dragon Transformation Pagoda, and of course, the fragments of the ancient Dragon Gate. These 3 things were what Yang Hongwu wanted the most at the moment. After obtaining the supreme treasure, Yang Hongwu did not stop. He continued to move forward to find the remaining genius tokens. Yang Hongwu had a feeling that there was a genius badge not far ahead. In this forbidden area, the genius badges were divided into 3 parts. One of the parts did not contain many genius badges, which was the least among the 3 parts. When Yang Hongwu approached the location of the genius token, Yang Hongwu took a deep breath. This guy in front of him was not simple. Motherf asterisk Kerr, it's actually a rock giant. Looking at the tall rock giant, Yang Hongwu smiled bitterly. This was not an ordinary rock giant. Rock giants did not have any magic power. They only had the strength of their flesh. Their flesh was incomparably tough. Their strength had even surpassed the divine monarch realm, reaching the pseudo-divine emperor realm. The most powerful rock giant was comparable to a real divine emperor realm expert. In this place, not to mention Yang Hongwu, even a real divine emperor realm expert might not be a match for this rock giant. How could he obtain this so-called genius token? Could it be that he had to give up here? This was also a problem that Yang Hongwu felt helpless. If he did not give up, how could he deal with the rock giant? Suddenly, Yang Hongwu's eyes lit up. There was a way. A formation. Yes, a formation. His cultivation had been sealed. He couldn't use his dermic powers, and he couldn't use his spiritual energy either. However, there was one thing that could be set up without magic power or mental strength, and that was a formation. When setting up a formation, it could be done without magic power or mental strength, but its power would be much weaker. However, it was enough to deal with the rock giant. Yang Hongwu did not need to kill the rock giant. He just needed to trap it for a while. He did it as soon as he thought of it. The formation that Yang Hongwu set up this time was not a powerful one. If it encountered a divine emperor realm expert, it would only be able to trap him for a few breaths of time. If it was a divine emperor realm expert who had comprehended the way of formation, it might not even be able to trap him for a few breaths of time. However, it should not be a problem to trap the rock giant for a few breaths of time. For Yang Hongwu, a few breaths of time was enough. Soon, the formation was successfully set up. Now, it was time to lure the rock giant. Chapter 1527. Void-Winged Dragon Swoosh. Yang Hongwu used a simple bow and arrow that he had made and shot an arrow at the rock giant. What surprised Yang Hongwu was that the rock giant wasn't affected at all. It didn't move at all, and the arrow was sent flying. There was no reaction. Yang Hongwu muttered in his heart. If 1 time was not enough, then he would try twice. If 2 times were not enough, then he would try thrice. Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes. He took out a few arrows and placed them on his longbow. Then he shot them out again. However, the rock giant still did not react. Yang Hongwu smiled bitterly. The rock giant's defensive power was too shocking. His attack hadn't caused any damage to the rock giant at all. Brother, use the creation chi. At this time, Yang Hongwu heard Nini's voice. Creation chi? Yang Hongwu was stunned when he heard this. He did not expect that he could really use the creation chi. However, the creation chi was very scarce now. Yang Hongwu used a trace of it. Since he could mobilize the chi of creation, could he use it to set up an array? If he used the creation chi to set up a formation, it would be absolutely foolproof. After thinking about it, Yang Hongwu gave up. The creation chi was too precious. It was not worth it to waste it like this. Yang Hongwu attached the creation chi to the bow and shot an arrow. The target was the rock giant's eye. The arrow was like a meteor as it instantly landed on the rock giant's eye. With a kacha sound, one of the rock giant's eyes was instantly shot out. Yang Hongwu was stunned. This trace of creation chi was actually so terrifying. This attack was definitely comparable to a peak divine lord's attack. Roar! After one of its eyes was shot, the rock giant was instantly enraged and rushed over crazily. In just a few breaths, it had traversed a few hundred feet. Its speed was so fast that even Yang Hongwu was shocked. Although the stone giant's body was huge, its movement speed was not slow at all. The rock giant entered the array. Yang Hongwu's figure flickered as he dashed toward the location of the genius badge. After a few breaths, they arrived at the rock giant's lair. Yang Hongwu instantly put away more than 1,000 genius tokens. After doing all this, Yang Hongwu prepared to leave. However, he discovered that there was a shiny stone beside him. This ore was kept by the stone giant, so it shouldn't be simple. Anyway, it was on the way. Yang Hongwu grabbed the piece of ore in his hand and then quickly ran outside. Yang Hongwu could feel that the array formation he had set up could not last much longer. Quick, quick, faster. Yang Hongwu pushed his speed to the limit. 30 breaths later, the formation exploded. The rock giant didn't discover the existence of Yang Hongwu, and everything around it was destroyed. Yang Hongwu ran out of the rock giant's territory and let out a long sigh. He didn't want to fight the rock giant. Although Yang Hongwu knew that he could use the creation chi to break the rock giant's defense. And if he infused the creation chi into the primordial saber, he would definitely be able to defeat or even kill the rock giant. However, Yang Hongwu definitely didn't want to take the risk under such circumstances. It's really not easy to get more than 1,000 genius tokens. Yang Hongwu looked at the tokens in his hand and sighed. There were about 3,000 genius tokens left in the forbidden area. There were still some outside the forbidden area, but not many. Yang Hongwu continued to search for the remaining genius tokens. 2 hours later, Yang Hongwu arrived at the second location. Yang Hongwu was very careful this time. He channeled a trace of creation chi into his eyes and checked the situation from afar. When he saw the location of the genius tokens, Yang Hongwu almost cursed it out loud. The location of the genius tokens was actually in the giant marching ant's lair. Why am I so unlucky? Right, take out the creation sacred tree. Yang Hongwu thought and contacted Nini. Big brother, there's no need for that. The reason why those marching ants would avoid the fortune sacred tree is because of the fortune aura. Big brother also possesses fortune aura. Thus, you will naturally be able to avoid those enormous marching ants. Big brother need not worry, Nini said. Are you sure? Yang Hongwu asked in disbelief when he heard this. I'm sure. Brother, don't worry. If it doesn't work, I can give the creation sacred tree. Nini said. When Yang Hongwu heard this, he nodded. That was true. Yang Hongwu released the creation chi throughout his body. There was too little creation chi, so he could only use a small amount to circulate throughout his body. Yang Hongwu walked step by step toward the marching ant's lair. At this moment, Yang Hongwu was highly focused. Once something unexpected happened, Yang Hongwu could quickly summon the creation sacred tree. However, to Yang Hongwu's relief, the marching ant consciously moved aside when Yang Hongwu appeared. Seeing this, Yang Hongwu heaved a sigh of relief. Very quickly, Yang Hongwu successfully obtained more than 1,000 genius tokens. Then, Yang Hongwu went to the next location without stopping. First, it was the rock giant, then it was the giant marching ant's lair. Where the next genius tokens be? Yang Hongwu was very curious, but he also knew that it must be a very dangerous place. In just an hour, Yang Hongwu found the location. Yang Hongwu used the same method as before to circulate a trace of creation chi to his eyes. Void Winged Dragon. It's actually in the Void Winged Dragon's stomach. Yang Hongwu's eyes widened and he smiled bitterly. Although the Void Winged Dragon was not strong, it was only equivalent to the early stage of the Divine Lord realm. Yang Hongwu was really not afraid, but the troublesome thing was that the Void Winged Dragon could fly. He did not have magic power now and could not use his cultivation. He could not fly at all. Of course, if he used creation chi, it would be too little and would not be enough to support him for so long. What should he do? The Void Winged Dragon was very vigilant. Once he got close, this guy would probably fly away directly. At that time, where would he go to find it? Could it be that he had to set up a large array formation? However, An array formation might not be able to trap it. The void-winged dragon could pass through ordinary array formations. The void-winged dragon had the word void in its name. This meant that the void-winged dragon could shuttle through the void. The void-winged dragon was a very rare dragon. This void-winged dragon's strength was only equivalent to the Divine Lord realm because its magic power was restricted here. If it had magic power, the void-winged dragon was comparable to the peak of the Divine Lord realm. Chapter 1528. Nature elixir, whether it was the rock giant or the marching ants, he had a way to deal with them. Relatively speaking, the rock giant and the marching ants were much stronger than the void-winged dragon. In a real fight, the void-winged dragon was definitely not a match for the rock giant and the marching ants. However, the void-winged dragon was the most troublesome for Yang Hongwu. It was not that he could not defeat it, but once it felt threatened, it would escape. He could not catch it at all. This made Yang Hongwu very depressed. Elixir, right? Elixir. Yang Hongwu suddenly thought of something. Now that he had the creation chi, he could refine elixirs. Moreover, it was easier to use the creation chi to refine elixirs. He could directly condense the creation chi into elixirs. It was easier than using medicinal herbs to refine elixirs. However, the only problem now was whether he could refine an elixir that could capture the void-winged dragon with the creation chi. Perhaps any kind of elixir would do. The void-winged dragon had developed a certain level of intelligence. If the elixir contained the creation chi, it would be fatally attractive to any exotic beast. Naturally, the void-winged dragon was the same. He did as he thought. Yang Hongwu extracted the creation chi from the creation sacred tree. He activated his cultivation technique and condensed the creation chi little by little. This process was much more difficult than Yang Hongwu had expected. This was something that Yang Hongwu had not expected. Creation chi condense. After 2 hours, Yang Hongwu finally condensed an elixir with the creation chi. The elixir was filled with a mysterious aura. There were no elixir markings, but it was infinitely tempting to anyone. Anyone could see that the elixir was not simple. If this elixir was given to a false divine emperor expert, he might be able to break through with the help of the elixir. Of course, the prerequisite was that the other party had reached the peak and only needed an opportunity. Moreover, the elixir formed by the creation chi was very rare. This elixir had almost used up all the creation chi that Yang Hongwu and Nini had collected. If Yang Hongwu were to refine another elixir, he would have to wait for the creation sacred tree to gather enough creation chi. However, this was not an easy task. The creation chi had been stored by the divine tree of creation for a long time. It would take at least a month to condense so much creation chi again. This made Yang Hongwu's heart ache. One could imagine how precious the creation chi was. But now, he had no other choice. He could only consume the creation chi. Otherwise, it would be impossible to gather all the genius badges. Genius token, I hope you won't disappoint me. What kind of secret do you have? If it can't even compare to this revival pill, then the loss outweighs the gain, Yang Hongwu murmured. Yang Hongwu directly named the elixir that was condensed from the creation chi as the creation elixir. Success or failure depended on this. Yang Hongwu took out the creation elixir. The aura of the creation elixir instantly spread out. The animals in the surroundings smelled the aura of the creation elixir and were ready to move. The void-winged dragon appeared in front of him in an instant. Yang Hongwu was overjoyed. Yang Hongwu had already set up a formation, and the creation elixir was also drugged by Yang Hongwu. Otherwise, if it was eaten by other animals, he would have nowhere to cry. The speed at which the void-winged dragon appeared made Yang Hongwu speechless. As expected of the void-winged dragon, the void-winged dragon deserved its reputation. Amazing, really amazing. Compared to his void-traversing technique, it wasn't weak at all. One had to know that this space was extremely strange. Every part of it was sealed. Once he entered this place, his magical powers and cultivation base were sealed. He could not use his mind power. Therefore, although he had the void travel secret method, he could not use it. Yang Hongwu had to admit that the void-winged dragon was indeed powerful. The void-winged dragon did not seem to be vigilant. When it saw the creation elixir, it opened its mouth without thinking at all. It suddenly inhaled and swallowed the creation elixir that had been drugged into its stomach. Yang Hongwu moved at this time. The formation was activated. The saber in his hand was instantly used to the extreme. At this time, the void-winged dragon felt threatened. When it saw Yang Hongwu, it instantly wanted to flap its wings and fly away. However, Yang Hongwu would not give a chance. The moment the formation was activated, the void-winged dragon was temporarily trapped. Yang Hongwu immediately slashed out with the saber in his hand. Crack! With a crisp sound, Yang Hongwu's saber instantly cut off the void-winged dragon's head. Blood splattered and sprayed more than 100 feet away. The void-winged dragon was killed by Yang Hongwu, just like that. Its huge body fell heavily to the ground. The entire ground was dyed red with blood. Next, Yang Hongwu cut open the void-winged dragon's stomach and found the genius tokens. Looking at the void-winged dragon's body, the creation elixir had already turned into creation chi and dissipated in the void. Yang Hongwu sighed inwardly. He originally thought that the creation elixir might not have been digested in such a short time, and he could still retrieve it. However, he did not expect the creation elixir to be so abnormal. It was digested as soon as it entered the void-winged dragon's stomach. Once the void-winged dragon died, the creation chi dissipated in the void. Creation chi, as expected of the creation chi, it stole the fortune of heaven and earth. He had obtained all the genius tokens. However, Yang Hongwu still had a question. He originally wanted to find out why this forbidden area could seal people's dermic powers and cultivation. However, he had no clue at all. Moreover, he did not have much time. He could not keep exploring this space. This made Yang Hongwu feel very helpless. Is it related to the creation sacred tree? Yang Hongwu thought for a moment. The creation sacred tree was very unique and was a supreme treasure. Perhaps the birth of this space was related to the creation sacred tree? Furthermore, who was the one who placed the fortune sacred tree here? Yang Hongwu did not think that this space could give birth to the creation sacred tree. Unfortunately, if the creation sacred tree had developed its own consciousness, then he would know. However, the creation sacred tree had not developed its own consciousness. Of course, he did not know what was going on. Yang Hongwu estimated the time. The genius competition was about to end. If he did not leave before this time, he might not be able to enter the sacred land of the dragons. In that case, he would not have the opportunity to find the Dragon Gate fragments. The gains would not make up for the losses. Chapter 1529. Bohai's obsession, he's out, he's out. Heavens, he actually came out from the forbidden area. Unbelievable, truly unbelievable. Everyone was shocked to see Yang Hongwu. I wonder what's inside the forbidden area? Perhaps it's a supreme treasure. Maybe he already got it. How many people have a genius token? Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes, looking at the people in front of the forbidden area. One of them was an old acquaintance, which surprised Yang Hongwu. His magic power and cultivation had recovered after leaving the forbidden area. It was a great feeling. Yang Hongwu noticed that the fortune sacred tree's speed of absorbing fortune chi had increased after leaving the forbidden area. Yang Hongwu was pleasantly surprised. You guys have a lot of genius tokens, right? Yang Hongwu looked at them and asked. You. The one who spoke was Bohai. He didn't expect to meet Yang Hongwu here. What? You want to refuse? Yang Hongwu wouldn't let him go just because he knew him. Bohai wasn't a good person, and this guy had betrayed him. Senior brother Hongwu, I'm not your senior brother. Yang Hongwu said coldly. I'm already being merciful by not killing someone who betrayed me. Hand over the genius token. I don't have it. Bohai still had a trace of hope in his heart. You don't have it? Yang Hongwu smiled. You've already taken the genius token. Where else can I find it? Bohai said. Are you lying to me? Yang Hongwu said coldly. It seems like you want to die. If you want to die, then I'll fulfill your wish. Hongwu, don't forget who helped you back then. Who helped you find City Lord Sulong. Without my help, would you be where you are today? Would you be able to come here? Bo-hai shouted angrily. You ungrateful bastard, kill me if you have the guts. When Yang Hongwu heard this, he wondered if this guy was possessed. Yang Hongwu was a little surprised that he dared to provoke him. Ungrateful? Yang Hongwu smiled and said, Don't forget that you were my captive. I spared your life. Do you believe that I will expose everything about you? Bo-hai said, Speak. However, after you speak, everyone here will have to die. Yang Hongwu's eyes revealed a terrifying killing intent. This terrifying killing intent sent a chill down everyone's spine. No, don't say it. We don't want to know. When the others heard this, they trembled in fear. These are the genius tokens we obtained. We'll give them to you. We'll give them all to you. Will you let us leave? Very well. You can leave now. Yang Hongwu really couldn't figure it out. Bo-hai, this coward, had actually become so bold. These are my genius badges. Another person walked up and said, Wait, you can't. Why? You're still hiding your genius badges. Yang Hongwu looked at him coldly. Hand them over. If you don't, you'll die. I've already handed them over. What do you want? You still dare to be stubborn? Yang Hongwu kicked him fiercely, and a genius badge fell out of his sleeve. Don't take any chances. I can sense the aura of the genius badge. Even if it's in your storage rings, I can still sense it, Yang Hongwu said. The genius badge contained fortune chi. Yang Hongwu could clearly sense a wisp of fortune chi. Without the genius badge, we can't enter the sacred land of the dragons. If we can't enter the sacred land of the dragons, we won't be able to obtain any opportunities. If we can't obtain any opportunities to break through, it will be difficult for us to survive the great calamity in the future, a tall marshalless said loudly. Are you all so willing? Rumor has it that the Dragon Gate exists in the sacred land of the dragons. As long as you obtain the Dragon Gate, you won't have to worry about the great calamity in the future. Dragon Gate? The most precious treasure of the dragons, the ancient Dragon Gate? That's right. That's what I've heard. Moreover, there are Imperial Dragon Pearls in the Dragon Gate. As long as you obtain the Dragon Gate, you can obtain the Imperial Dragon Pearls. At that time, you'll be able to devour and refine the Dragon Pearls. Then, you'll be able to reach the peak of the 6 worlds. Imperial Dragon Pearls? Dragon Gate. That's right. Imperial Dragon Pearls and Dragon Gate. Think about it. If you obtain the Imperial Dragon Pearls and Dragon Gate, the great calamity of the world will be nothing. Kill him. Everyone, let's attack together. We can definitely kill him. Someone shouted loudly. Everyone, let's attack together. We can definitely kill him. No matter how strong he is, he's only one person. That's right. Moreover, he just came out of the forbidden area. That place is filled with dangers. How much strength does he have left? Someone shouted loudly. That's right. He shouldn't have much strength left. Let's go and kill him. One by one, they roared furiously and charged at Yang Hongwu with murderous intent. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Almost everyone present had arrived. The only one who hadn't moved was Bo-hai. Die for me. Everyone looked ferocious and wanted to kill Yang Hongwu. Yang Hongwu waved his hand and a terrifying aura burst out, instantly sending a few people flying. Bang, bang, bang. These people were instantly killed. Who else? The few people who were about to charge forward were scared silly. Scary, too scary. His strength was so terrifying. These people were all late divine monarchs. In front of him, they didn't even have the slightest strength to fight back. Terrifying. How terrifying was his strength? Bo-hai, why don't you go? Yang Hongwu said faintly. If you don't want to die, then hand over what I want. Bo-hai hesitated for a moment and looked at Yang Hongwu. In the end, he gave up. For you. Bo-hai's eyes were filled with hatred, not concealing it at all. Just as Yang Hongwu accepted the genius token, Bo-hai suddenly exploded, sending a punch towards Yang Hongwu's head. Bang! Yang Hongwu gave a cold laugh and threw a backhand punch. This punch slammed heavily onto Bo-hai's fist. An explosion. Bo-hai's entire person exploded, turning into a bloody mist that filled the sky. Hiss! Everyone sucked in a cold breath. Bo-hai was actually beaten up until he exploded. One punch blew him up, turning him into a bloody mist that filled the sky. How terrifying was his strength? Bohai was beaten up, but something on his body dropped. It was a black skull token. Inside this token was filled with terrifying, fiendish energy. Chapter 1530. Nye Dragon Mountain. Speaking of which, Bohai was originally a coward who was afraid of death. The reason why his temperament had changed so drastically and he had become so arrogant and didn't even put Yang Hongwu in his eyes was because he had been affected by this token. He had been tainted with demon chi, causing a huge change in his mentality. That was why he had disregarded everything to go against Yang Hongwu. If he was not tainted by the demon chi and was invaded by the inner demon, Bohai would not have dared to attack Yang Hongwu with his original character and strength. Yang Hongwu did not care about Bohai's death. He did not care about the death of an irrelevant person. The rest of the people were scared out of their wits when they saw that those who went against Yang Hongwu were killed. They did not dare to resist. They all took the initiative to hand over their genius tokens. Senior Hongwu, I know who else has a genius token. Someone said. Ooh. In fact, Yang Hongwu did not need to ask. He could find the person himself. Seers. Seers? The genius of Hope Dragon City. Seers? Yang Hongwu squinted his eyes. Yes, Seers is very powerful. It is said that he is the real, peerless genius, second only to Blair. Yang Hongwu was a little surprised. He had met Seers before he went through the heavenly tribulation. The guy also handed over his genius token under his threat. However, Yang Hongwu did not expect Seers to hide his strength so well. It really surprised him. Although this guy was a genius, he was very sensible and knew how to endure. If he did not die, he would definitely become a great person in the future. If he could obtain the qualifications to enter the sacred dragon pond or the dragon raising pond, then his cultivation would soar to the heavens. He would probably become a peak divine monarch in one go. However, he was destined to be disappointed this time. Yang Hongwu would never let go of the genius token. If he did not give it to him, he would have to kill him. Nye Dragon Mountain. This was another dangerous place in the sacred dragon battle territory. There was a powerful evil dragon entrenched here. Among dragons, other than the outliers, there was also a very special species. They were born with sins. This type of dragon was known as the evil dragon. They were an existence that was rejected by dragons. Just like the outliers, they were not liked by dragons. These evil dragons were usually extremely evil and committed all kinds of crimes. There was an evil dragon in Evil Dragon Mountain. This evil dragon was also a half-step divine emperor. However, compared to the Komodo dragon in the center, this evil dragon was weaker because it had just reached the half-step divine emperor realm. Therefore, it was weaker than the Komodo dragon. At this moment, Yang Hongwu had arrived at the foot of Nye Dragon Mountain. Looking from afar, there were two auras of the genius token in Nye Dragon Mountain. These were the only two auras of the genius token that Yang Hongwu had felt in the sacred dragon battlefield. This meant that apart from these two parts of the genius token, the rest had been collected by him. As long as Yang Hongwu got this part, he would be able to gather all the genius tokens. In this way, he would be able to find out the secrets of the genius tokens. Looking at the two powerful auras on Nye Dragon Mountain, Yang Hongwu guessed that the two auras belonged to Seers and the evil dragon. These two auras were very powerful. Yang Hongwu did not expect that Seers had hidden his strength so well. He was able to compete with experts of the half-step divine emperor realm. Moreover, when he was fighting against the evil dragon, he even had the upper hand. This was why Seers dared to come here to look for the genius token. For some unknown reason, the genius token was fatally attractive to these exotic beasts. Therefore, in order to obtain the genius token from these exotic beasts, he had to defeat them. Apparently, the evil dragon was the same. It's my turn. Yang Hongwu looked at the two auras on Nye Dragon Mountain in the distance. Apparently, they were fighting fiercely. Moreover, there were explosions from time to time. Yang Hongwu jumped up at an extremely fast speed. Within a few breaths, he had appeared on Nye Dragon Mountain. Who's there? Yang Hongwu didn't hide his cultivation base, so Hilsna and a Sin Dragon immediately noticed him. Hongwu. Seer's expression changed when he saw Yang Hongwu. The evil dragon did not know Yang Hongwu. Another one who wants to take my treasure? The evil dragon looked at Yang Hongwu with killing intent in its eyes. Brother Hongwu, you already have so many genius tokens. You'll definitely be the champion of the genius competition. Don't compete with us for the rest of the genius tokens. Sears was very afraid of Yang Hongwu. After all, he was someone who dared to provoke the heavenly tribulation and was not afraid of the heavenly punishment. His strength was too terrifying. Yang Hongwu looked at Sears and smiled. I've heard that if all the genius tokens are gathered, there will be unexpected changes and benefits. Perhaps it will be a supreme treasure, and I happen to be interested in this. So what about it? I want both your genius token and the evil dragon's genius token. Sears frowned. Brother Hongwu, why do you have to do this? You're already the champion. Why do you have to covet a treasure that has never appeared before? Everyone wants a supreme treasure, Yi Futian murmured. Yang Hongwu said, Of course, I'm not an exception. Give me your genius token. If you don't have any supreme treasures, I can return it to you. Of course, you can also choose to refuse. If you refuse, you'll be going against me and provoking me. What I hate the most is people provoking me and going against me. Therefore, if you refuse, you'll have to face my revenge. Yang Hongwu's tone was arrogant. However, Sears' expression became serious. Arrogance could indeed be described as such. However, there was no doubt that he had the strength to back it up. Sears wanted to enter the sacred land of the dragon race and cultivate in the dragon-raising pond, or even the sacred dragon pond. In fact, he was very clear that the 100 years when the Great Tribulation would begin was a lie. The true Great Tribulation had already begun. In other words, they were already in the midst of it. In order to survive the Great Tribulation of heaven and earth, one had to be strong enough. How could he improve his strength in the shortest time possible? The only way was to enter the sacred dragon pond and cultivate in the nurturing dragon pond. He was sure that if he could enter the sacred dragon pond, he would be able to break through to the divine emperor layer. Chapter 1531. Overbearing, but now, Hongwu didn't give him any hope at all. He had already snatched a portion of the genius token, and now he was going to snatch the rest of the genius tokens. Hongwu wasn't giving him any chance at all. This was equivalent to cutting off his escape route. Although he did not want to fight against Hongwu, he would not let him go. This made him very angry. Senior brother Hongwu, are you saying that you will not let us live? Hand it over, Yang Hongwu said. Galassi, now you have heard that Hongwu is trying to steal our genius badges. Why don't we join forces to kill him and steal his genius badges? I can tell you that he has more genius badges than you and me. Sears looked at evil dragon Galassi and said, A Tai true god realm warrior can make you so afraid. Humph, how can I join forces with you dragons? How do I know that you are not the same kind of people who want to scheme against me? Galassi sneered. Do you think I'm a fool? Today you will all die. Galassi did not believe Sears at all. After all, Sears wanted to kill him and take his treasures. How could he believe that? Moreover, Yang Hongwu's aura showed that he was only a Tai true god. He was not even a divine emperor. How could such a person be a threat to a half-step divine emperor? What a joke. Even if he wanted to lie, he should find a suitable reason. He was too naive if he wanted to scheme against him. Dying. Galassi roared and released a terrifying power. This terrifying power was enough to destroy heaven and earth, as if it was going to destroy the entire evil dragon mountain. This terrifying power was heading towards Sears and Yang Hongwu. Galassi wanted to kill these two people who wanted to take his treasures. Damn it! Sears heard Galassi's words and saw him attacking. His face changed drastically. This bastard is courting death. How dare he not believe me? He knew very well what kind of person Hongwu was. He wasn't even afraid of heavenly tribulation or heavenly punishment, but Gyula's didn't believe him. If the two of them worked together, perhaps they would have a chance. However, Gyros did not know how terrifying Yang Hongwu was. Instead, he thought that Sears had deliberately set a trap for him in order to seize his treasures. This made Sears extremely aggrieved. Sears hated Yang Hongwu and Gyros to the core, but he knew that he wouldn't stand a chance against Yang Hongwu with his strength. Now, he had a chance to leave. Although the genius token on the evil dragon Guluisi was something that he really wanted, it was nothing compared to his life. Furthermore, he still had a portion of the genius token on him. Although these genius tokens wouldn't allow him to enter the sacred dragon pond to cultivate, entering the dragon nurturing pond shouldn't be much of a problem. He did not think anyone else in the sacred dragon battleground apart from Hongwu would be able to collect so many genius badges, let alone more than him. Therefore, although there was no hope for him to enter the sacred dragon pond, it wouldn't be a problem for him to enter the dragon nurturing pond to cultivate if he could leave safely. After making up his mind, Sears turned into a ray of light and rushed down the evil dragon mountain. That damn bastard, he actually escaped. I couldn't stop him, but I'm going to devour you and turn you into my energy. Gu Lewis glared at Yang Hongwu with even more fury, his eyes turning a terrifying crimson color. Evil dragon Gu Luisi was extremely powerful. He had the blood of enmity in his body. Once the blood of enmity was unleashed, its power would be quite terrifying. If the chi of enmity reached its peak, he would be able to reach the false divine emperor realm in a short period of time. This would greatly increase his combat strength. Yang Hongwu was astonished when he saw Galassi's aura increasing continuously. As for Sears, he couldn't escape. Yang Hongwu could sense the location of the genius tokens. As long as the genius competition wasn't over, he wouldn't have to worry. You worm, are you trying to provoke me? Yang Hongwu snorted. Although the evil dragon's aura had changed tremendously and his aura had become extremely terrifying, Yang Hongwu wasn't afraid. After all, he was a dragon. If he wasn't a dragon, Yang Hongwu would be a little wary. However, this guy was a dragon after all. As long as he was a dragon, he wouldn't be able to escape the suppression of the Dragon Transformation Pagoda and the Dragon Gate. At the same time, there was the suppression of his powerful blood force. How could the evil dragon Gu Luisi resist under these three suppressions? Dragon Transformation Pagoda, suppress him. Dragon Gate, suppress him. Yang Hongwu released the two treasures in an instant. The strong pressure instantly covered the area within a radius of 3,000 meters around Nye Dragon Mountain. Damn it! How can you possess the Dragonized Pagoda and the Dragon Gate? Evil dragon Gurosi instantly felt a terrifying pressure. It was a suppression that came from the depths of his soul and bloodline. The treasures of dragons had a suppressive effect on any dragon. At the moment, there were two supreme treasures of the dragon tribe, the Dragon Transformation Tower and the Dragon Gate. In addition to Yang Hongwu's powerful bloodline power, the terrifying aura caused evil dragon Guxi's eyes to almost pop out. The strong pressure made it difficult for him to even breathe. Terrifying, too terrifying. No wonder Sears suggested to join forces with me. No wonder Sears is so afraid of me, a mere primordial true God realm martial artist. It turned out that Su Mo possessed the treasures of dragons. What do you want? Don't you want the genius token? I can give it to you. I can give you all of my genius tokens and even all of my treasures. Although Galassi was reckless, he wasn't a fool. He would be a fool if he continued to attack Su Mo when he knew that he was no match for Su Mo. Only a fool would fight to the death. It's too late to hand it over now. Yang Hongwu looked at the evil dragon Gu Luisi. This guy was too ugly, and his aura made Yang Hongwu unhappy. He had the same aura as Ztion. Although it was only a little, Yang Hongwu would never let him live. I hate your aura. Wait. Don't kill me. If you kill me, you won't be able to get the treasures. Galassi shouted when he saw that Yang Hongwu was about to kill him. Are these your last words? Yang Hongwu asked. Chapter 1532. The Secret of the Six Realms Self-Destruct? You can give it a try. Yang Hongwu sneered. Yang Hongwu did not care about Gu Lui's threat at all. I hate it when people threaten me. Wait, what do you want? Gu Lui shouted. I'll submit to you. I'm willing to be your slave and serve you. What use are you to me? Yang Hongwu said coldly. Gu Lui's willingness to submit was within Yang Hongwu's expectations. I know the secret of the Sacred Dragon Pond. I'm willing to use this secret in exchange for a chance to live. All right, I hope you're telling the truth. Otherwise, I'll let you know what it means to wish you were dead. Yang Hongwu snorted. Now, sign this contract. Yang Hongwu threw out a contract scroll. Yang Hongwu did not want to waste this contract scroll. However, this guy seemed to have a big secret. In order to prevent this guy from betraying him, Yang Hongwu hesitated for a moment before throwing the contract scroll to Gu Lui. Although Gu Lui was extremely unwilling, he had no choice but to sign the contract. Once the contract was signed, Gu Lui realized that he could not resist Yang Hongwu's will. With just a thought, he would wish he was dead. Now, everything about him was under Yang Hongwu's control. Gu Lui smiled bitterly. Back then, he had fled into the sacred dragon battle territory and occupied a mountain there. Although he couldn't leave, outside powerhouses couldn't enter this place either, so he could be considered free and unfettered. However, he hadn't expected that such a terrifying powerhouse would appear at the genius meet. Moreover, he looked young and was extremely powerful. He even possessed the legendary dragon transformation pagoda and dragon gate. These were two supreme treasures. Master, this is all of my genius tokens. In addition, there's a strange stone here. This stone is very strange. It can devour the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. It can even devour my dragon aura. I once tried to channel my dragon aura into this stone. However, I did not expect this stone to be like a bottomless pit. I can't fill it up no matter how hard I try. Gu Lui was restrained by the contract and did not dare to be disloyal. At least, he did not dare to rebel before he got rid of the restrictions of the contract. Yang Hongwu looked at the stone in shock. He had also obtained a similar stone before. He had not had the time to study it. However, he did not expect Gu Lui to have such a stone. This made Yang Hongwu more and more curious. Yang Hongwu nodded with satisfaction and said, "Very good. If you work hard for me, I will cancel the contract in the future." To Yang Hongwu, a mere Gu Lui was nothing in his eyes. By the way, what is the secret of the sacred dragon pond that you mentioned? Master, the sacred dragon pond and the dragon nurturing pond are said to be the origin of the dragon world. The entire dragon world was formed by an unparalleled expert. The sacred dragon pond and the dragon nurturing pond are the heart of that unparalleled expert. If Master can refine the sacred dragon pond and the dragon nurturing pond, you will be able to find the dragon pearl of that unparalleled expert. The dragon pearl is the core of this world. Controlling the dragon pearl is equivalent to controlling the entire dragon world. Gu Lui said, "Dragon pearl?" Yang Hongwu was shocked. He did not expect the dragon world to be formed by the body of an unparalleled expert. Wasn't this equivalent to Pangu splitting the heaven and earth and creating the desolate land? If he could obtain the dragon world and completely refine it, his strength and inner world would definitely improve by leaps and bounds. How terrifying was the strength of an expert who could create a world like the dragon world? Yes, Master. It is said that the 6 worlds were formed by 6 unparalleled experts, including the divine world, the demon world, the underworld, the human world, and the beast world. Gu Lui said, "How do you know this?" Yang Hongwu was astonished. The 6 worlds of this universe were formed by the bodies of 6 unparalleled experts. This news shocked Yang Hongwu. If it was true, why would the 6 of them create a macro world with their own bodies? No one could be so great. Yang Hongwu did not think that everyone was a fool. Even Pangu had split the heaven and earth and created the desolate land because he was forced to do so. Moreover, he had his own plans. Master, I only know this because I accidentally obtained a wisp of memory from the sacred dragon pond. Gu Lui said, "Sacred dragon pond?" "That's right, Master. In fact, I'm the elder brother of the current dragon emperor. Because of that memory, I awakened the blood of the evil dragon. If it wasn't for the evil dragon hemostasis, I would have broken through to the God King realm already." Gu Lui smiled bitterly. The conflict between the evil dragon hemostasis and his dragon blood had caused his cultivation to be stuck at this realm for countless years. Yang Hongwu felt relieved when he heard this. This was also the reason why Gu Lui could live well in the sacred dragon war territory. If not for the fact that he was the elder brother of the Dragon Emperor would have dealt with him long ago. He was not a Komodo dragon, but a native of the sacred dragon war territory. In fact, according to Yang Hongwu's guess, Gu Lui would not have been able to enter the sacred dragon war territory easily without the Dragon Emperor's permission. Yang Hongwu was shocked when he thought of this. It seemed that he had underestimated Gu Lui. The Dragon Emperor was not simple. He probably knew the reason why he had participated in the genius competition and entered the sacred dragon war territory. How could someone with such a cultivation base, who could also become the ruler of a realm, be so simple? Luo Yunyang had been too naive and underestimated them. Yang Hongwu suddenly had a terrifying thought. The dragon monarch of a dragon realm and the unparalleled devil he had since before probably had some sort of connection. If that was not the case, how could the Dragon Emperor have allowed that demon to set up a transportation array in the sacred dragon war territory? After all, the Holy Dragon battlefield was an important place for the dragon tribe. Yang Hongwu took a deep breath and suppressed all these thoughts in his heart. No matter what, he had already reached this point, and he had benefited greatly from it. He had obtained the Dragonization Pagoda and the Dragon Gate. This surprised Yang Hongwu. Furthermore, the sacred doctor of the dragons, Li Longjin, who had addressed him as Emperor in the Dragonization Pagoda, must have been waiting for him. Yang Hongwu suspected that someone had deliberately allowed him to enter this realm. Yang Hongwu felt very depressed when he thought of this. It seemed as if an invisible hand was restraining him and arranging his movements. Chapter 1533. Tai Xian Demonic Sound. It was time to gather all the genius tokens and see what the secret was. Yang Hongwu soared into the sky and chased after Seers. With Yang Hongwu's speed, he was able to move tens of thousands of feet in the blink of an eye. Yang Hongwu had used the void shifting technique, a powerful spatial super ability. Yang Hongwu had relied on this super ability to avoid many dangers. Now, it was rare for him to use it to chase after someone. Soon, Yang Hongwu caught up with Seers. Stop! Yang Hongwu looked at Seers and said, You. Seers looked at Yang Hongwu as if he had seen a ghost. He was running at full speed and had even used the Divine Travel Talisman. The Divine Travel Talisman was a precious talisman left behind by his ancestor to save his life. He did not expect that Yang Hongwu would catch up with him even after using the Divine Travel Talisman. He only knew how terrifying Yang Hongwu was now. He thought that the evil dragon Gu Si could at least delay him for a while. He did not expect Yang Hongwu to be so fast. Seers smiled bitterly. You finally caught up with me. Hand it over, and I will leave your corpse intact. Yang Hongwu looked at Seers and said indifferently. In his eyes, Seers was like a dead man. Although Seers was strong, he was nothing in Yang Hongwu's eyes. You're trying to cut off my opportunity. I know you're powerful, but I won't give up without a fight. Seers suddenly exploded with a strong fighting spirit and said coldly, I must go to the holy land of dragons, the sacred dragon pond, and the dragon nurturing pond. Yang Hongwu squinted his eyes when he saw the change in Seers. Seers' aura had changed. His magic power had undergone a fundamental change. Bedevilment. Seers had also become bedeviled. After becoming bedeviled, Seers retained his consciousness, but his strength had become more terrifying. He had more than doubled compared to before. Seers was only a step away from entering the false divine emperor realm. Yang Hongwu was shocked. No wonder his strength was second only to Blair, and he could compete with Blair. This was truly not simple. In this dragon world, other than those frightening old antiques, he and Blair could definitely dominate. However, he still had to die in the end because he met Yi Shiwen. This was his tribulation. Without Yi Shiwen, he and Blair could have become peerless experts in the dragon world. However, because of Yi Shiwen's existence, they had no chance. Seers' fate would be the same as Blair's. You forced me to do this. I didn't want to become a demon, but you forced me. Seers looked at Yang Hongwu with intense hatred in his eyes. A weapon appeared in his hand. It was a guqin. Terrifying demonic qi emerged from the guqin. The surrounding space was stirred up by the demonic qi, as if the space was about to collapse. Demonized? Yang Hongwu looked at Hill. That's right. You improved a lot, but so what? Do you think you can resist me now? Seers, if you don't want to die, then hand over what I want. You should know what happened to Blair. Blair's strength was on par with yours, or even slightly stronger than yours. Yet, he still died at my hands. If you don't realize your mistake, then you will die without a complete corpse. You won't even have the chance to reincarnate. Even your soul will be destroyed by me. Yang Hongwu could kill Seers after becoming a demon, but he would have to pay a price. Yang Hongwu wasn't willing to pay such a price. However, if Seers didn't realize his mistake, he would have to take action. Yang Hongwu faintly felt a demonic qi penetrating through the void. This was what Yang Hongwu was most afraid of. Seers was not a divine emperor after becoming a demon. He wasn't even a false divine emperor. However, the demonic qi that could communicate with this world was extremely terrifying. That demon might be the guy from the devil realm. Ha! Ha! Hongwu, you're really arrogant. I admit that you're powerful, but I'm now a demon. How can I be so easy to deal with? Can you imagine the strength of the heavenly devil emperor? I can kill you with the help of the emperor's strength. Seers laughed wildly. Originally, I didn't want to become a demon because I'll lose my freedom and some precious things. But you forced me. Today, I want you to die. I'll cut you into pieces. Seers moved. His hands quickly strummed the guqin. Terrifying guqin sounds appeared. The guqin sounds condensed into terrifying demons that rushed toward Yang Hongwu. Primordial demon sound. This information flashed through Yang Hongwu's mind. The strength of these demons was quite ferocious. Wherever the demons went, they turned into scorched earth. There was no sign of life. Humph! Yang Hongwu snorted. Demons were demons after all. He wasn't worried about demons at all. Among the cultivation techniques he practiced, there were countless ways to deal with demons. Demon-killing finger. Yang Hongwu condensed his spiritual power and pointed his finger at the void. Golden light shone from this finger, illuminating the entire space. The devil instantly turned into nothingness and disappeared without a trace after being hit by this finger. Karmic fire incinerating the heavens. Then, Yang Hongwu raised his hands again. 2 balls of flames gathered in his hands. It was the karmic fire of the red lotus. The 2 balls of karmic fire of the red lotus danced above Yang Hongwu's hands like fairies of heaven and earth. However, Seers felt a terrifying sense of danger. This flame was even more terrifying than the demonic finger that Yang Hongwu had just used. It was as if it could burn everything, including his physical body, his soul, and even his everything. He couldn't resist it. The 2 balls of flames were gently pushed by Yang Hongwu. It seemed as if they floated in the air, but the 2 balls of flames instantly separated. They turned into flames that filled the sky and rushed towards Seers. The entire sky was dyed red by the flames. It was like a splendid firework. It was extremely beautiful. However, to Seers, this beautiful scene was a terrifying, murderous intent. It was full of the threat of death. If he couldn't block it, he would die completely and his soul would scatter. Damn it, primordial demon sound. Heavenly demon emperor avatar, come out. Seers roared angrily. A majestic demonic aura burst out. The primordial demon emperor avatar condensed from primordial demon emperor avatar. The avatar waved its hand, and a vast power rushed toward Yang Hongwu. It was as if the world was about to be covered by this palm. Chapter 1534. Devouring demonic qi. This is Red Lotus Karmic Fire. Damn it. Seers' expression changed when he felt the karmic fire burning in his body. Although the sins in his body were not monstrous, they were still quite significant. Especially after he had turned into a demon, the karmic fire in his body was instantly ignited. Hao-Yin Demon Suppression Seal. Suppress it. After Yang Hongwu released the Red Lotus Karmic Fire, he saw that Seers' body was already infected with the karmic fire. Although he knew that Seers could extinguish the karmic fire in his body, it was not an easy task. This was the perfect opportunity. The Hao-Yin Demon Suppression Seal was similar to the Demon Exterminating Finger. It was a cultivation technique that specifically targeted the demonic qi. Forming a seal in the void, a gigantic seal appeared. This gigantic seal was filled with an awe-inspiring aura. It shone brightly, and any evil spirits, demons, ghosts, and monsters would be turned into ashes under this awe-inspiring aura. This huge seal was like a mountain, and it pressed down on Sears. Sears was busy expelling the karmic fire in his body. When he saw the huge seal pressing down on him like an ancient mountain, his expression changed drastically. If he was hit by this attack, it would be extremely terrifying. Even if he did not die, he would be severely injured. This was because Sears could feel the awe-inspiring chi from this huge seal. This awe-inspiring chi was the righteous chi of heaven and earth. It was a great threat to people like him who had turned into a demon. Demonic Tao is supreme. Open, Sears roared. A crack appeared in the void, and a terrifying aura descended from the crack. Demonic Tao, the primordial demonic Tao, tore the void apart and descended. Sacrifice. Yang Hongwu opened his eyes wide in shock. He did not expect Sears to use the secret art of sacrifice to force the primordial demonic Tao to descend. A shadow condensed and took shape. It was the shadow of an unparalleled demon. The illusionary figure turned into a terrifying demonic ray and charged at Yang Hongwu. Good timing. After the demonic light shattered his Hao-Yan demon suppression seal, its momentum did not diminish. It was as if it wanted to obliterate Yang Hongwu. However, Yang Hongwu was not afraid. Instead, he curled his lips into a smile. So what if it was the power of the demonic path? He was not afraid at all. To Yang Hongwu, no matter what kind of power it was, whether it was the noble spirit, the origin of the world, the power of evil spirits, or even the supreme power of karma, they were all his supplements. Devouring furnace out. Yang Hongwu roared as a gigantic furnace appeared. There were ancient runes engraved on the surface of this furnace. It was filled with an ancient devouring power. A tremendous devouring power burst out in an instant. In the span of a breath, the demonic light was swallowed into the furnace. The devouring furnace could devour anything and everything. No matter what kind of power it was, it could devour everything. Even supreme utmost treasures could be devoured. From as small as an ant or a speck of dust to as large as a star or a universe, there was nothing that the devouring furnace couldn't devour. As long as Yang Hongwu's cultivation base increased, his spiritual power and physical body could withstand it, and he could devour it. Thus, the devouring furnace was extremely powerful. So far, it was Yang Hongwu's most powerful technique. Once the devouring furnace was used, nothing could stop it. Unless the opponent was much stronger than Yang Hongwu and surpassed the limits of the devouring furnace, they could instantly destroy Yang Hongwu's spiritual will. However, this was not an easy task. How dare you devour the power of the Emperor? You're courting death. Sears was very confident in the strength of the Heavenly Devil Emperor. Although it was not the Heavenly Devil Emperor himself, it was enough. It was definitely not something that a mere true god like Yang Hongwu could resist. One should know that the Heavenly Devil Emperor's strength was extremely terrifying. Even a clone or a drop of demonic blood was enough to kill a divine emperor. It's just the power of demonic way. I'll devour as much as it comes. Yang Hongwu laughed wildly. He was not worried about Sears' words at all. Others might not dare to devour the power of demonic way. After all, they could be affected by the demonic way at any time. However, Yang Hongwu was not worried at all. Not only because he had the karmic fire of the Red Lotus that could burn everything, but also because Yang Hongwu had cultivated a supreme spiritual secret technique. Moreover, he also had the devouring furnace. The devouring furnace could devour everything. How could it be so easily affected by the demonic way? Moreover, the devouring furnace was a part of the demonic devouring rune. The demonic devouring rune was one of the supreme laws of demonic way. Therefore, there was no demonic chi or demonic way that could erode Yang Hongwu's will. Yang Hongwu might not have dared to do it if he had been in the celestial Devil Emperor's world, as it would have been dangerous. However, this was not a macro world. This was the Western Dragon world, a small world within the Western Dragon world. Although the celestial Devil Emperor was powerful, he had no way of descending. This power had come at a great cost from that world. Therefore, Yang Hongwu was not afraid at all. Yang Hongwu did not care about the double suppression of the devouring furnace and the karmic fire of the red lotus. Oh, creation chi. Yang Hongwu was worried that it would take some time to refine the demonic chi. However, Yang Hongwu was pleasantly surprised to find that the sacred tree of creation in his body had moved. The demonic chi was directly devoured by the sacred tree of creation and turned into creation chi. The seemingly boundless demonic chi was only left with a few strands of creation chi after being converted by the sacred tree of creation. Originally, if Yang Hongwu had used the devouring furnace to convert all the demonic chi, his cultivation would have reached a higher level. However, after being devoured by the sacred tree of creation and converted into creation chi, Yang Hongwu's cultivation did not break through. However, Yang Hongwu was not angry. Instead, he was very happy. Yang Hongwu was well aware of the power of creation chi. The help that these strands of creation chi gave Yang Hongwu was definitely much greater than refining the demonic chi directly. Sears was terrified when he saw that Yang Hongwu had destroyed one of the heavenly devil emperor's incarnations in a few breaths. Although he knew that his opponent was strong, he did not expect him to be so strong. He was no match for him after becoming a demon. Even the heavenly devil emperor, who he thought was invincible, was no match for him. What was his background? How could he be so terrifying? Could he be the source of the Great Tribulation? Or was he the savior of the Great Tribulation? Chapter 1535. Dragon King sees you deep in the void. Damn it! Who is it? How dare you destroy my incarnation? An unparalleled, powerful being burst forth with a terrifying aura. This terrifying rage seemed as though it was going to destroy the entire world. It was the heavenly devil emperor. This is his aura. I can feel his aura. The heavenly devil emperor was infuriated. With a wave of his hand, he shattered a huge star with a punch. He's not dead yet. He's not dead yet. The heavenly devil emperor was both furious and fearful. The celestial demon emperor was well aware of his strength. Back then, if it wasn't for a slight setback in his cultivation, he probably wouldn't have survived. Even so, they had to pay a huge price to kill him back then. His primordial spirit and true spirit were scattered. She didn't expect to sense his aura again after so many years. Yang Hongwu was naturally unaware of what was happening in the depths of the void. Of course, even if he knew now, it wouldn't do him any good. Yang Hongwu looked at Sears and saw that he was in complete despair. There was no longer any will to resist in his eyes. Have you accepted your fate? Yang Hongwu smiled faintly. You could have continued to live and continued to be a peerless genius. However, you chose to offend me and go against me. Therefore, today you must die. Any last words? Tell me. Winner takes all. Sears suddenly laughed. He looked at Yang Hongwu and said, I can only blame myself for being born in the wrong era. Why did the dragon realm give birth to you when I was born? These words made Yang Hongwu think of Zhou in the romance of the three kingdoms on earth. This sentence, since he was born, why would Liang be born, revealed the bitterness in Zhou's heart. Of course, that was only a record in the romance of the three kingdoms. However, wasn't this sentence a portrayal of Hill's heart at this moment? He had to admit that if it weren't for him, Blair wouldn't have been Hill's match if Hill had gone mad. However, if Hill wasn't possessed, he wouldn't be a match for Blair. However, all of this changed because of his existence. Blair had been killed by him, and now Sears was no exception. All the peerless geniuses of the younger generation of the dragon world were going to die at his hands. Yang Hongwu could not help sighing in his heart. He did not know when he had already killed so many geniuses. Along the way, countless peerless geniuses and monstrous geniuses had died because of him. However, Yang Hongwu knew very well that killing Sears and Blair wasn't the end. There would be more peerless geniuses and peerless geniuses who would die at his hands in the future. Let's do it, Hill said. Yang Hongwu waved his hand, and a flame appeared in his hand. It was the karmic fire of the red lotus. The karmic fire of the red lotus instantly turned into a fire lotus and flew towards Sears, landing on his body. At that moment, All the karma on Seer's body was ignited and turned into a raging fire. Soon, Seer's body and the demonic aura on his body were completely burned away by the powerful karmic fire of the Red Lotus. Only his pure soul remained. Yang Hongwu sighed. With a thought, he sent Seers into the cycle of reincarnation. Seers was a respectable opponent. In fact, the amount of karma on his body was much less than that of ordinary people. If it wasn't for the fact that the demonic aura had entered his body and caused him to fall into the demonic path, his karmic fire of the Red Lotus might not have been able to cause fatal harm to him. After doing all this, Yang Hongwu extended his hand and made a grabbing motion. The genius medallion left behind by Seers fell into Yang Hongwu's hand. They're finally all gathered. Let me see what secrets are contained in the genius medallion. Yang Hongwu placed all the genius medallions together. After the genius medallion was gathered, it immediately emitted an intense light. The light instantly pierced through the sky. Then, a guiding passage appeared. This was the light of guiding. The light of guidance landed on Yang Hongwu's body in an instant. Yang Hongwu only felt a powerful force pulling him over. Yang Hongwu originally wanted to stop it, but after hesitating for a moment, he gave up. He wanted to see what it was. After all, he had gone through untold hardships to gather the genius medallion in order to find the so-called great opportunity. It would be a pity if he gave up just like that. With great skill, Yang Hongwu gave up trying to stop it. He only used the Destruction Heaven Palace to protect himself and followed the light of guidance, allowing it to pull him over. After a few breaths, Yang Hongwu felt that he had arrived in a unique space. The spiritual qi here was very astonishing. No, it should be said that the dragon qi was astonishing. What is this place? Yang Hongwu looked around and was also very surprised. This was an ancient palace. In this ancient palace, there was a small pool about 10 feet wide. The small pool was filled with golden liquid, dragon blood. Yang Hongwu instantly felt the majestic power contained in the golden liquid in the pool. Moreover, it was very familiar. This was dragon blood. Moreover, it was more powerful than the blood of divine emperors. The energy it contained was even more terrifying. Could this be the blood left behind by the Emperor of Dragons who had created this world? This was the sacred dragon pool. Yang Hongwu frowned. It was said that soaking in the sacred dragon pool would bring great benefits. Any warrior who had not broken through to the divine emperor realm would be able to advance by one level. Even if he was a half-step divine emperor, he would be able to advance by one level and enter the false divine emperor realm. Moreover, according to his aptitude, he would be able to comprehend different emperor level laws. However, Yang Hongwu faintly felt that it was not as simple as the sacred dragon pool. The energy contained in the blood in the pool could even create a few divine emperors. Yang Hongwu hesitated for a moment and came to the side of the pool. As soon as he approached, Yang Hongwu felt a strong suction force that sucked Yang Hongwu into the pool. Then, the majestic dragon blood in the pool swarmed towards him. Yang Hongwu didn't have time to think too much. The energy contained in the dragon's blood in this small pool was too great. It made Yang Hongwu feel like he was going to explode. Devouring Furnace, devour. 9 Heavens Divine Dragon Technique, open. Yang Hongwu roared and activated his cultivation technique to the extreme. He devoured the energy madly to increase his cultivation. Even the fortune's sacred tree in Yang Hongwu's body started devouring frantically. What Yang Hongwu did not know was that when he was pulled into the pool and devoured the energy of the blood, a shadow appeared in front of him. This shadow had 12 wings on its back. Chapter 1536. A powerful enemy. The shadow looked at Yang Hongwu and murmured, "After so many years, I have finally found a decent body." Yang Hongwu did not know about all this. He was devouring and refining the energy in the blood pool. Yang Hongwu's body was like a huge furnace that could devour the entire universe. The huge golden blood rushed towards Yang Hongwu and wrapped him up, forming a huge golden cocoon. Not bad. It is even stronger than my original body. I have not waited for so many years in vain. Devour, devour. Once the body is refined, it will be mine. After an unknown period of time, Yang Hongwu's cultivation started to break through. Level 5 Tai True God. Level 6 Tai True God. His cultivation increased by leaps and bounds. Time passed by slowly. The golden dragon blood in the pool did not disappear. Not only did 2 hours pass, but it was also a day. The golden liquid in the pool had been completely refined and absorbed by Yang Hongwu. At that moment, Yang Hongwu's cultivation level had already risen to the level of a peak primordial real god. His 9 Heaven Divine Dragon skill also had a huge breakthrough. Time's up. Outside, after Yang Hongwu had absorbed the golden dragon blood in the pool, the shadow turned into a golden light and rushed into Yang Hongwu's sea of consciousness. Who is it? Yang Hongwu immediately felt the presence of the golden shadow after it entered his sea of consciousness. Kid, you're not bad. You can actually refine and absorb my blood. This body is not bad at all. It's even stronger than my previous body. Therefore, I've taken a liking to this body. If you're smart, give me your body and I might give you a chance to reincarnate and cultivate again. Yang Hongwu took a deep breath and looked at the guy's appearance. It was a lizard with 12 wings. Yang Hongwu was speechless. However, he had to admit that the guy was really powerful. He could enter his sea of consciousness directly. Who are you? Yang Hongwu looked at the other party and felt confident. He had to figure out the other party's background first. Yang Hongwu wasn't afraid of a mere spiritual body. He had countless trump cards on him. His devouring furnace could directly devour souls. The red lotus karmic fire could similarly target spiritual bodies. Therefore, Yang Hongwu was not worried. He was just curious about this guy's background. Could it be that this guy was the owner of the blood? If that was the case, it wouldn't be strange. Brat, I'll let you die with an explanation. I'm the West Dragon God. The West Dragon realm is the world I created. Who do you think I am? The West Armor Dragon Lord laughed heartily. As a member of the West Armor Dragon realm, you are also my descendant. Therefore, it is your honor that I have taken a liking to your physical body. When you recultivate in the future, I will take you as my disciple and grant you unparalleled opportunities. When Yang Hongwu heard this, he couldn't help but laugh. This old lizard had been dead for God knows how many years. When it came to talking and lying, he was really good at it. If he was really one of the West Armor Dragons, he might have been deceived by him. However, he wasn't. Yang Hongwu thought of the Holy Dragon battlefield. The biggest secret in the Holy Land of Dragons was actually a pretense. It was just a trap set by the West Armor Dragon God for his resurrection. What if I don't agree? Yang Hongwu said coldly. The West Armor Dragon God's face darkened. He laughed and looked at Yang Hongwu. Don't agree? Ha! That's a joke. At this point, it's not up to you to decide whether you agree or not. Now, everything is up to me. If you agree, I will grant you an opportunity. If you don't agree, then what awaits you is the destruction of your soul. There will be no chance for you to come back to life. What arrogance! I would like to see how you are going to destroy my soul. Yang Hongwu squinted his eyes. With a wave of his hand, a gigantic cage appeared in the void. This gigantic cage trapped the Shijia Dragon Lord within. Child's play. The West Armor Dragon God opened his mouth and breathed out a dragon breath. The space cage collapsed instantly. Lad, it's useless. Do you know who I am? I am an emperor who has surpassed the divine emperor. Moreover, I am an existence who is at the peak of the emperor realm. You're just a mere Tai True God. How can you fight against me? Impossible. Seeing this, Yang Hongwu was shocked. This was his sea of consciousness. He was the ruler of this place. He was invincible. However, Yang Hongwu couldn't understand how the West Armor Dragon God could be so terrifying. The cage that he created with his mental strength was destroyed by the West Armor Dragon God with a flick of his finger. How could Yang Hongwu not be shocked? Nothing is impossible. If you hadn't refined my blood, I might have had to waste a lot of energy to possess you. However, you've absorbed my blood, which contains my will. Do you think that if I hadn't released my will, you would have been able to refine my blood? Lad, you are too naive. The West Armor Dragon God smiled faintly. West Armor Dragon God. This is my territory. I don't believe that you can withstand my attack in my sea of consciousness. Yang Hongwu's face darkened. His powerful spiritual energy burst forth and formed a huge battle saber. This battle saber slashed towards the West Armor Dragon Lord. Ding! The West Armor Dragon God raised his hand and blocked Yang Hongwu's terrifying attack. Damn it! Yang Hongwu's face darkened. The West Armor Dragon God's strength was beyond his expectations. Primordial Battle Sword, rise. This time, Yang Hongwu didn't use his mental strength. Instead, he summoned his primordial battle sword and held it tightly in his hands. Raging Dragon breaks the sky. With a roar, Yang Hongwu slashed out with his primordial saber. The saber aura transformed into a huge dragon, baring its fangs and brandishing its claws. It charged towards the West Armor Dragon Lord, intent on destroying him completely. It's useless. The West Armor Dragon God opened his mouth again and spat out a dragon breath. It landed on the huge dragon formed by the sword chi. The huge dragon melted instantly and disappeared into thin air. Red Lotus of Karmic Fire. Yang Hongwu was furious. He had to admit that the West Armor Dragon God was giving him a lot of pressure. The old lizard's strength was terrifying to the extreme. He was the scariest enemy Yang Hongwu had encountered since he had transmigrated. The moment the Red Lotus of Karmic Fire appeared, his entire sea of consciousness was set ablaze. Seeing this, the West Armor Dragon God's face darkened. Chapter 1537. Despair with a wave of his dragon claw. The karmic fire was dispersed. Yang Hongwu was shocked to the extreme. This fella's cultivation was too terrifying. He could even disperse the karmic fire of the Red Lotus. What realm had he reached? Yang Hongwu's originally firm heart was shaken for the first time. Could he defeat him? Was he really going to die? Was she going to be possessed by him? At this moment, Yang Hongwu had no confidence at all. He had no idea at all. Little guy, what other tricks do you have up your sleeve? Why don't you take them out? Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes and stared at the other party. I don't believe you're really that strong. This is my territory, my territory. I'm the master. I'm the one and only true God. Yang Hongwu roared and unleashed all of his techniques. The devouring furnace, the grand mist saber, the heavenly palace of destruction, and the scroll of fortune appeared. The dragonized pagoda and the dragon gate were both summoned. Every single one of these items was a supreme treasure, and every single one of them was enough to shock the world. Holy **T. What a surprise. Every single one of them is a supreme treasure. Even I have to be wary of them. Looking at the supreme treasures that Yang Hongwu brought out, West Armor Dragon Lord's heart skipped a beat. He knew about the Dragon Transformation Pagoda and Dragon Gate, because he had obtained them from the void. He had never expected that they would fall into the hands of this young man. This was too shocking. His luck was simply monstrous. It was only after he obtained the two supreme treasures that he realized how powerful they were. Furthermore, even after so many years, he had never managed to make the two supreme treasures recognize him as their master. With his cultivation back then, he could only use the two supreme treasures, but he could not make them recognize him as their master. What surprised him even more was that Yang Hongwu did not only have these two supreme treasures. The Grand Mist Saber and the Destruction Heaven Palace were definitely comparable to the Dragonization Pagoda and the Dragon Gate. There were absolutely no such treasures in the Dragon Realm. Could it be that he obtained a treasure from another plane? Dying. Yang Hongwu took out all of his treasures. With a single thought, he used these treasures to construct a powerful formation in an instant. With the Scroll of Fortune as the core, the Dragon Gate, the Dragonization Pagoda, the Grand Mist Saber, and the Destruction Heavenly Palace as support, they formed a 5 extremes formation. The Dragon Gate suppressed, the Dragonization Pagoda defended, and the Destruction Heavenly Palace and the Grand Mist Saber attacked. It formed an incomparably mysterious formation. Yang Hongwu wouldn't have been able to set up this formation outside. However, this was Yang Hongwu's spiritual consciousness. He was the master, so naturally, he could use the power of his spiritual consciousness to set up such a powerful formation. The moment the 5 extremes formation appeared, it was filled with boundless power. This power was enough to destroy the heavens and earth and destroy the void. Good, good. I can't believe it. This formation is too powerful. It's enough to kill an emperor. The West Armor Dragon Lord felt the power, and his face changed slightly. He retreated in a flash, following which he transformed into his human form. He was a burly man in golden armor. He looked mighty and domineering. This mighty and domineering man clenched his fists tightly. He wore a pair of boxing gloves on his fists. Void-shattering dragon fist. He threw out a punch with boundless power. Even the heavens and earth were about to be shattered by this punch. Crack, crack. Crisp sounds were heard. The 5 extremes formation that Yang Hongwu had set up was shattered. It collapsed bit by bit and disappeared into the void. No, this is impossible. At this moment, Yang Hongwu was in despair. This formation could be said to be Yang Hongwu's final trump card. It was his strongest move. If this formation was in the real world, it would be impossible for him to set it up with his current strength. Unless the inner world in his body had evolved into a great world like the inner world of the common life Great Seal, it would be impossible for him to set it up. It wasn't referring to the common life continent or the common life divine realm. It was the real common life Great World. It was the real world within the common life Great Seal. It was a complete great world. If Yang Hongwu reached that level, he would be able to use the power of the world to set up such a formation. Hence, if this formation was in the real world, it would definitely be able to kill the so-called emperor. Yang Hongwu was extremely confident about this. However, reality had given him a huge blow. It was extremely cruel. The West Armor Dragon Lord had only used one punch to shatter the formation that he was so proud of. It was completely shattered. An aura of despair was born in his heart. Soon, the aura of despair filled his entire sea of consciousness. Yang Hongwu's entire body was shrouded in the aura of death. "Ah, kid, what other moves do you have? I'm looking forward to it." The West Armor Dragon Lord laughed heartily. Seeing Yang Hongwu's despair, he felt extremely carefree. What made him even happier was that he could finally obtain a new life. Furthermore, he was going to obtain a supreme physical body and several supreme treasures. Every single one of them was an existence that any martial artist would dream of obtaining. He believed that with this powerful physical body and these supreme treasures, he would be able to break through his limits, break through his cultivation level, and enter the legendary level. Facing the West Armor Dragon Lord's arrogance and his mocking laughter, Yang Hongwu felt extremely bitter. He had originally thought that he would stand at the pinnacle of the world. No, he should have stood at the pinnacle of the great cosmos and become the master of the great cosmos. However, he had never imagined that he would actually be possessed and die here today. This was something that he had never dared to believe. Yang Hongwu closed his eyes and waited for death to come. It wasn't that he had given up resisting, but that he no longer had the strength to resist. The enemy was too strong. Compared to him, Yang Hongwu wasn't even on the same level. This was the difference between heaven and earth. "Brother, don't give up. Don't give up." At this moment, a voice appeared in Yang Hongwu's mind. "Husband, don't give up. You can't give up." One by one, voices appeared in Yang Hongwu's mind. Nini, Lu Li, Yuji, Hua Wing, Hu Xiaoer by Iran, etc. Everyone's voices appeared in his mind. "If you die, what will happen to us?" These voices kept appearing in Yang Hongwu's mind. Chapter 1538. Turning defeat into victory. "No, I can't die. I can't die yet. Yuji and the others are still waiting for me. If I die, what will happen to them?" Yang Hongwu's willpower exploded as he thought of this. A domineering force erupted from his body. Just as the West Armor Dragon God was about to devour Lin Fan, the powerful force sent him flying. "What's going on?" The West Armor Dragon God's eyes widened. He couldn't believe what he had just seen. This brat actually possessed such terrifying strength that he was able to send him flying. This strength made him feel fear. Yang Hongwu opened his eyes. "You want to devour me? You don't have the ability to do so. This is my territory. I'm in charge," Yang Hongwu said as he looked at the West Armor Dragon God. "Brat, I have to admit that your strength has exceeded my expectations. I didn't expect that there would be such a powerful force in your body. If this force were to explode, even I would have to be wary of it. However, this is under the condition that you can fully control this force. You are still too weak to control this force. Therefore, you are destined to be unable to resist me. You better hand over your body obediently and let me devour your soul. The West Armor Dragon God said loudly. You must be dreaming. We don't know who will devour who yet. Yang Hongwu looked at the West Armor Dragon God in front of him. His despair had completely dissipated. He had just discovered that there was still a powerful force in his body. This was the first time he had felt this force. If he could control it, he would definitely have the strength to kill a divine emperor. However, it wasn't easy to control this force. Yang Hongwu thought to himself. Perhaps this was why the holy doctor of the dragons, Li Longjin, addressed him as the emperor. It seemed that the energy in his body should be the energy of that imperial emperor. Yang Hongwu had no other choice now. If he wasn't in such a desperate situation, Yang Hongwu wouldn't have wanted to use this force even if he knew about it. After all, if that monarch's consciousness were to awaken, then at that time, he would definitely suffer the impact of boundless memories. He only had less than 100 years of memories, so what was it in front of that boundless memories? When that time comes, would he still be himself? Therefore, this was what Yang Hongwu was worried about. Perhaps it really was his previous life, but so what? Furthermore, to Yang Hongwu, he was also a transmigrator, a person who possessed a body. The previous life of this body might not necessarily be his previous life. How arrogant! The West Armor Dragon God was infuriated. He charged at Yang Hongwu again, baring his fangs and claws. At this moment, Yang Hongwu had an epiphany. He raised his hands slightly and formed seals continuously. A mysterious hand seal appeared. A mysterious diagram appeared in the void. The diagram and the hand seal were ancient and mysterious. This force again. Damn it! The West Armor Dragon God was blocked by this force as soon as he got close to Yang Hongwu's soul. It's impossible to stop me. The West Armor Dragon God, will get whatever I want. The West Armor Dragon God reverted to his original form. He was a 12-winged dragon. He flapped his wings continuously and formed a mysterious rune. The mysterious rune instantly glowed with a dazzling light. This dazzling light was filled with terrifying power. When this power erupted, it seemed to be able to collapse this part of the universe. Bam! The two forces collided violently. Yang Hongwu's sea of consciousness was stirred up. Yang Hongwu's physical body was hit hard by this terrifying force. Cracks began to appear on Yang Hongwu's tough body, and blood began to seep out. At this moment, the Fortune Sacred Tree glowed brightly. The Fortune Chi spread out and fused with Yang Hongwu's physical body. Yang Hongwu's physical body was nourished by the Fortune Chi. His injuries were healed instantly, and he became even stronger. Originally, Yang Hongwu's sea of consciousness, including his soul, had suffered great damage. But when the Fortune Chi appeared, Yang Hongwu's physical body was healed. His sea of consciousness was healed as well. His damaged soul was also healed. Impossible. Seeing this, the West Armor Dragon God's eyes widened. He couldn't believe this. How could something like this happen? That was damage to the soul. It wasn't something that could be healed in a short period of time. Even with the help of sacred medicine, it couldn't be healed in a short period of time. Even though his soul was incomparably powerful, he was still injured by the frightening impact of the previous attack. The difference in strength between Yang Hongwu and him was huge. Naturally, the damage he received was greater. Even his sea of consciousness was damaged. But an unknown force managed to heal his sea of consciousness in an instant. His soul was also healed in a breath's time. How could the West Armor Dragon God not be shocked? If this continued, it wouldn't be Yang Hongwu who would be devoured. It would be him. Die. Die. I don't believe that the West Armor Dragon God, a supreme emperor, can't kill a mere primordial true god like you. The West Armor Dragon God roared and charged towards Yang Hongwu again. Good timing. With a thought, Yang Hongwu summoned the devouring furnace and condensed his dragon soul. In his sea of consciousness, his dragon soul instantly materialized. With a loud roar, the devouring furnace pounced towards the West Armor Dragon God. The two dragons clashed and tore at each other. Yang Hongwu's devouring furnace unleashed a terrifying devouring power. The West Armor Dragon God's soul was torn apart and devoured by the devouring furnace. Karmic fire of the Red Lotus. Yang Hongwu roared again. A scarlet flame appeared and turned into a huge lotus flower. It flew towards the West Armor Dragon God. The West Armor Dragon God's strength was being devoured bit by bit. The West Armor Dragon God was getting weaker and weaker. On the other hand, Yang Hongwu's strength was getting stronger and stronger. Although the speed was slow, Yang Hongwu could clearly feel that his spiritual power and soul were getting stronger. Chapter 1539. Blood-dripping dragon. At this point, it was impossible for him to give up. However, he still had a chance. Yang Hongwu had devoured and refined his dragon blood. That was his dragon blood. As long as he could communicate with the power of the dragon blood, he would be able to awaken the will in the dragon blood. Once he merged with the will of the dragon blood, he would be able to regain control of the situation. Therefore, while he was fighting against Yang Hongwu, he was frantically communicating with the will of the dragon blood. He wanted to awaken the will of the dragon blood. At this moment, Yang Hongwu also felt the change. He realized that the energy that he had just devoured and refined was starting to go out of control. This shocked Yang Hongwu. Damn it. Yang Hongwu looked at Shi Jia Dragon Lord and knew that this was part of his plan. Refining the true body with fire. Yang Hongwu roared. With a thought, the karmic fire of the Red Lotus burned wildly. Yang Hongwu had no other choice. It was crazy to use the divine fire to burn his body bit by bit. Even though his body was strong and he had cultivated the immortal dragon body, it was crazy to use the powerful karmic fire to burn his body. It was not just burning on the surface, it was burning deep into every cell and flesh. Such a refining method was terrifying and crazy. No one had ever dared to do this before. Crazy. Damn it. You are crazy. Seeing Yang Hongwu's actions, Shi Jia Dragon Lord was terrified. This was a method of mutual destruction. Even if he obtained this body, it would be meaningless. Instead, he would be burned by the karmic fire, and even his soul would dissipate. If he was at his peak, he would not have to worry about the immature karmic fire of the Red Lotus. After all, the karmic fire of the Red Lotus was only at the 13th grade. It was not even at the 20th grade. Although it could cause him some trouble, it was not much. However, his cultivation was far from fully recovered. Worse still, he had to fight against Yang Hongwu's dragon soul. He was even at a disadvantage. Yang Hongwu was not only refining his physical body, but also refining the will of the West Armor Dragon Monarch that was imbued within him. This was the most terrifying thing for Shi Jia Dragon Lord. He could feel the will of the dragon blood being burned away bit by the karmic fire of the Red Lotus. Yang Hongwu's body was damaged, but what made Shi Jia Dragon Lord frustrated was that his body was recovering quickly. This was yet another mysterious and profound power. If it wasn't for that power, he would have succeeded in taking over the body a long time ago. Unfortunately, it was this power that had ruined his plans. The West Armor Dragon Lord gritted his teeth in anger. He hated this power to the extreme. It was this mysterious power that had not only caused him to fail, but also put him in danger. You want to erase the will in my blood? It's not that easy. Shi Jia Dragon Lord's eyes shone with a sharp light as he shouted, blood dripping into a dragon. At his level, it was not rare for him to create a dragon from a drop of blood. However, to ordinary people, this sort of secret technique was extremely powerful and difficult to accomplish. As soon as he finished speaking, Yang Hongwu felt a part of his blood begin to move uncontrollably. It was as if it was about to transform into a dragon. Blood dripping into a dragon. Yang Hongwu took a deep breath. This secret technique was indeed powerful. It was shockingly similar to the secret technique he had obtained after obtaining the Dragon Transformation Pagoda, the art of dragon transformation. However, compared to the art of dragon transformation, the blood dripping into a dragon was much weaker. They were not on the same level. The blood dripping into a dragon could only allow his blood to merge with a strand of his will to transform into a dragon. However, the art of dragon transformation that he cultivated could transform everything in the world into a dragon and control it. Therefore, the difference between the two was huge. They were not on the same level at all. What a good blood dripping into a dragon. However, you are too naive if you think you can take over my body just like that. Yang Hongwu suddenly thought of the art of dragon transformation. Yang Hongwu originally thought that the possibility of him using the art of dragon transformation was not high. After all, the art of dragon transformation was cruel. In fact, it could even be said to be cruel, turning all living things in the world into dragons that were under his control. A dragon without self-awareness. Such a cultivation technique was truly heaven-defying and extremely cruel. No one would be willing to lose their consciousness and become a dragon under someone else's control. Art of dragon transformation. Yang Hongwu shouted. The dragon blood that was about to be transformed into a dragon was instantly transformed into a small dragon by Yang Hongwu using the art of dragon transformation. The consciousness of a Shi Jia dragon god was erased from the blood. If the Shi Jia dragon god had not used the blood dripping into a dragon, Yang Hongwu would not have realized that the art of dragon transformation that he had obtained could be used to erase the consciousness of the Shi Jia dragon god. Damn it! Damn it! How could there be such a skill? The Shi Jia dragon god was furious. Aren't you the lord of the dragon world? How could you not know? I obtained the art of dragon transformation from the Shi Jia dragon world. Yang Hongwu chuckled. At this moment, he had already eliminated the hidden effects of the Shi Jia dragon god's dragon blood. Not only that, his strength had increased by another level. At this moment, victory was already in his hands. Naturally, he did not have to worry about the Shi Jia dragon god anymore. Impossible. This is impossible. If such a skill was born in my world, how could I not know about it? The Shi Jia dragon god shouted. At this moment, he was simply about to go crazy. He was a supreme emperor. Now, he was defeated by a mere Tai, true god. How could he accept such a blow? I obtained this skill from the Dragon Transformation Tower. Yang Hongwu chuckled. The holy doctor of the dragons, Li Longjin. Yang Hongwu said another person's name. Li Longjin? How could it be him? How could it be him? The Shi Jia dragon god gritted his teeth when he heard this name. His eyes shone with hatred. This is my world. This is my territory. How could he appear here? Damn it! It's him. He schemed against me. At this moment, the Shi Jia dragon god had completely lost it. He was like a madman. He attacked Yang Hongwu crazily. There was no pattern to his attacks. However, because of this, his attacks became even more ferocious. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.